Toss a coin to your grifter. Big John needs to pay his bill.
I was really off
Big
time there.
John needs to pay
I thought I had it.
his
I thought I had it.
bill. Toss a coin to your grifter. Big John needs to pay his bills.
Yeah, where is the next episode of Invincible? How dare they do a half season at a time?
Engage with the brain cell dead. He sat down to fight every drooling
What?
dunce who peak evolved apparently just the once they came after him with their toddler takes the kind
I'm shocked by all the quartered people too. Somebody said, who's cleaning anyways? It's my job to vacuum.
But
then if it doesn't suck, he doesn't do it.
John needs to pay his bills. Big John needs to pay his bills. Oh,
There's nothing worse than a vacuum that doesn't suck. It's his one job. There's one job.
You're
not wrong.
Whose combined total IQ they still can't afford. They argued the earth was probably flat. He bills by the hour for suffering
Thanks for-
that.
Oh,
He
what
wails
is-
through these cretins, these absolute wastes. If you won't pay his rate, then take their place. That's his martyrdom, his glorious cross. Every idiot he endures goes on your tab, boss. Toss a coin to your grifter.
Big John. Canada's cooked Liberals just got the majority government through floor crossing. What?
We love backroom deals and money.
Wait. Hold on. What is that actually true?
It's probably true. They were like one seat away recently. I feel like that should be illegal.
Big John needs to pay his bills.
Floor crossing should be illegal. 100%. 100%. There's no way you could justify that. Oh, all of a sudden this guy just got a big bank account and he switched teams and now we have a majority government.
I was conservative, but then, I had a meeting with the Prime Minister and now I'm more leaning.
Is it true though?
I can't find. So the last I can find is they have 170, which is 2 seats short. But if it happened like very soon, then I could be.
Bro, if you're lying to me,
Missing it.
you're going to get permanently banned. Just a fair warning. Like if you're joking.
No, it probably just hasn't been updated yet, to be honest.
But if you're serious, thank you for sharing. But if you're joking, you're going to permanent ban. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Joke about that.
Are you kidding me? I'm actually genuinely upset. I'm genuinely upset about that. Like, I actually don't want to do live. We're taking the day off now, guys. We're taking the day off.
Life goes on.
No, we're done. We're done. It's over. Life doesn't go on. You cannot live in a world with a primary liberal government. Just can't do it.
We've done it before.
Nope. No. I'm done. I'm done. It's stupid. I'm angry now.
Uh-oh. We're gonna get cranky John today.
Oh, yep. You sure are. You sure are gonna get a cranky John today. My goodness gracious. We just became a the Liberal Party is so stupid.
They are really stupid. Did you see my story the other day?
No. Yes.
Of Cardi being like, we live in the most affordable time in history. And you're like, wow.
They're panderers. They don't tell the truth, and people don't like the truth nowadays. We have new emojis, by the way.
We do.
Yeah.
Somebody do them.
Somebody do them. No. When you yeah, when you're part of a seat and the election goes towards that.
Oh, I see them.
There's one. They're so small. I'm trying to find a way to make them bigger. I thought it would work. I thought I figured out a way.
That's only 2.
I might hire somebody. No, there should be 3. 4, actually. There should be 4 new emojis.
Is it the LOL?
One's an LOL, yeah.
Oh, that's lame.
Well, it's just they get their own little LOL, but...
Okay. And the laughing emoji?
Yep, there's that one.
And the Crusader?
Yep.
And the millstone?
Yep.
Yeah. You got them all.
Yeah, there should be one more. No, that's it. Yeah, that's it. All of them. Mad at that. I'm mad at that. Is the chat working?
Yeah.
Or do we just have no one here?
No, chat's working. We have 86 in the long.
I don't see anything happening in my chat at all.
Sounds like a you problem.
Let me make sure we're still connected. Yeah, it says we're connected. Activate. The last thing I see is Jen's LOL. Is that the last comment?
Who?
On mine, it's OJT2ENV. Is it the LOL emoji?
No.
No? I'm not getting comments. What is going on? Hold on. Hold on, folks. And it's going to be another technical problems podcast. Another technical problems podcast here. No, if like there should be no like if we have an election and people vote a certain way, like, because here's the thing, I don't vote for the guy. Like, I honestly, when I voted, I didn't vote for the guy who represents the
riding.
The riding.
No.
No.
Neither did
I voted because I wanted the leader to be Pierre Poilievre. And for me to get Pierre Poilievre as the leader, I needed to vote more chairs in of the Conservative Party. So it's not fair if I vote a guy in as a conservative to represent the Conservative Party, then he just switches teams, and now all of a sudden my vote is a Liberal vote.
Yeah.
That's literally how it works.
The people of those ridings are pissed, as they should be.
He just wants. I do want to play Crimson Desert, but I've been a good boy and I haven't played it in a little while because I've been working. I was up. Last night I was up till 2 and I worked nonstop. I was just straight work.
Modern Brain says only the real OG fans will remember when Big Jays would do night lives and Abby would call it a night.
Yeah.
True. Truth.
Yeah. I've been thinking about going back to nights. I'm a natural night guy anyways, and that's when most people are on. We used to be a late night show, and when I switched, everybody was pretty upset, but we found a new crew. But the problem is if I do that, I'll lose you guys. I like you guys. Good morning. I have praise report. All my jokes are now officially dad jokes. For my first one, what did the ocean say to the shore? Nothing. It just waves. That's an old one. But are you telling me you became a dad?
I think that's the implication.
Is that the implication here? That you are now a father? If that's the case, congratulations. But I'll wait for you to clarify before I celebrate. But that does seem to be the implication there. That does seem to be the implication. All right. You are a dad. Congratulations. That's why you've been practicing your dad jokes.
Do the sound bite.
Which one?
Like a yay or something.
You know, it's funny that yay has gotten some of my videos demonetized, so I'm careful of it. It's not supposed to. Lots of people use it all the time. No, congratulations. That's huge. You are actually blessed. So blessed. All right. We just went live on TikTok. Today's topic. Well, hold on. Let's pray. Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for the blessings that you've given. Thank you for who you are. Walk with us as they be present. Allow us to have good and fruitful conversations that draw people into your kingdom. In Jesus' name, amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. God is good. God is always good, and we are definitely not. So today's topic is just why should I leave Christianity? Just convince me to leave, bro. I mean, it's just a silly religion with no evidence and tree gods. So should be pretty easy to convince me to leave. Toss a coin to your douchebag. He really needs to pay his bills. He really needs to pay his bills. I wish we could hold on just one sec. I want to finish this. Where's my drafts? I wanted to send an email. Draft. There we go. There we go. Looks like we're doing another show with Modern Day Debate this weekend. But it'll just be a standard call-in show. So we're going to do a call. Well, I shouldn't. I don't know if I should be saying this, actually.
You probably should.
Yeah, I'll shut up. I'll shut up just to be safe. Shut up. All right. All right, Abby, you can open up the shorts chat.
They're sending us
Almighty.
Oh, hold on.
Wisconsin just elected a pro-abortion Supreme Court justice. So I'm right there with you on the government being cringe.
Yo-ho, all hands, hoist the millstone high. Heave-ho, you who led them, you'd be better to die. Feel the stone around your neck, feel the weight drag you down. The waves close over your head as you sink beneath and drown. Yo-ho, all hands, hoist the millstone high. Heave-ho, you who led them, you'd be better to die. Yo-ho, all together, hoist the millstone
I want to sing, but everybody
high.
told me I was bad at it.
Heave-ho, those who led them into the deep you'll lie. The cold black water fills your chest, no hand to pull you back. The stone pulls harder to the deep, everything fades to black. Yo-ho, all together, hoist the millstone high. Heave-ho, woe to those who led the little ones astray.
Yeah, we need better emojis. I'm going to hire somebody to do it. I was looking yesterday. I think I'm going to hire somebody to make my emojis so we could see them. We can't see them. They're so small. That's the problem. Can I totally make a cool cover to this song? Please. It's AI. If you can make an actual one that's real, I'll put it on. Send it to me. BigJohnSteele@gmail.com. Get it done. Get it done. Smash the like button, guys. We need those 20,000 likes before we start taking guests. I got a feeling today I'm going to be sad. I just got that feeling. Now, that might be a little bit of preconditioning myself.
You should read other super chats.
Do I have to?
Yeah.
Okie doke. There's only one. Second one. Politics, polyticks, noun, multiple blood-sucking parasites. Ooh. That's good. Although, again, I think they're good politics. I just think good politicians. C Potato, I saw your message, by the way. I've been meaning to message you back. I just keep forgetting. Here's a quick answer for you. Your phone is a great camera. Focus on your lighting, get good lighting, and just start. Right? You'll get the equipment that you need as you go. If I tell you the equipment I have, you'll be like, oh my goodness gracious. It's a lot. And it took years to collect. So I started on my phone years ago, and I had a lot of equipment from when I used to do music left over that kind of added to it, and then I've just been adding on little bits here and there. So I'd say don't worry about it. Your phone is an excellent camera. Start there, get a good light, right? And then just get maybe a Hollyland. They're pretty cheap. You can get one of these. So you can get one of these for like $100 or something like that. They'll be pretty good. I have these for like backups for when I need to use my phone. Hollyland Larks. They're just like little lavender mics that connect straight to your phone. Boom. So or you could just hold it and talk to people. So two things you want to focus on is lighting and audio. After that, then you can focus on like a nice camera. People really like, especially for like call-in shows, people really don't care too much about the camera. I mean, half the time IP is doing his call-in show. He's got a terrible background, or he does a video. He posts a video. He's got a horrible background, horrible audio, and horrible lighting, or horrible background, and horrible lighting, but great audio and a good message. So, what do I think of Reformed theology? The Westminster Confession of Faith. Have I ever heard of it? No, I've heard of it, but I don't think it. Like, I'm so not involved in Hollyland Larks. Yeah. I think is what they're called. But if you'll find it if you go into the Holy Land things. How did John's scared of me? Who is this? Hold on one second though. You're supposed to be in the queue. We'll bring you in a minute. There we go. Oh no! What happened? Why isn't the queue put in? Oh, it's because it's capitalized. QUEUE space. There you go. I've been in the queue. What's going on? We're waiting for our 20,000 likes. That's what's going on. The Pope just welcomed Templars back, didn't he? Did he? I don't know. I don't keep up to date with news, guys. I really don't. That's something I really need to start doing. But the thing is, when you do this stuff for like a living, when you shut off, you don't want to be online looking up things. Like 90% of my YouTube feed is Crimson Desert tutorial videos right now. That's what's going on. Explain to me Matthew 26:39. Jesus fell on his face while praying, just like Muslims. Oh, he must be a Muslim then. You got us. You got us, guys. Hey, guys, did you know that Jesus prayed like a Muslim? He fell on his face and prayed. So therefore, he must be a Muslim. That's the only logical conclusion. Because he prostrated, he must be Muslim, right? Explain it. What do I have to explain? You've made your point. Jesus prostrated, therefore he's a Muslim. Everybody who here, it's a simple, we can make it put into a simple syllogism. Everybody who prostrates is Muslim. Jesus prostrated. Conclusion, Jesus is a Muslim. Right? That's our simple syllogism. That's all we have to do. Everyone who prostrates is a Muslim. So if you prostrate, you're Muslim. Jesus prostrated, therefore he's Muslim. That's all you got to do. Only 55 viewers explain that. What the fuck? Well, we literally just started. Yeah, we've only been live 9 minutes, so chill out. We'll get there. And if we don't get there, we don't get there. That's part of life. If you're a Muslim, you must see Jesus as a prophet. We know. We know. Why is P1 just a literal what? I don't know. What's that swear word he used, Abby?
Oh, turd.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, it's a valid premise, right? P1, everyone who prostrates must be a Muslim. John the Baptist was also a Muslim. Yeah, you got it. You got it. Everybody who's ever prostrated, who's ever put their forehead to the floor must be a Muslim. No YouTube notification today? Did it not show up? You want to check the Discord, Abby?
Strange.
If
I saw it.
Okay.
But they might not have got, like, are they talking about actually
on YouTube? What type of taco? Whatever you want from wherever you want. As long as it's not like one of those like $1 million tacos or something. Or yeah, Orthodox Christians are also Muslim then. Yeah, you got it. You got Coptic Christians too are also everybody who prostrates must be a Muslim. That's the conclusion. Why has the Bible changed so much over time? Can you prove that it has? You're talking on YouTube. Do you have the bell notification on? If not, I don't know why. Sup nerds? What's up, Daniel? How's it going? How's it going? It hasn't. You know about a valid premise. Then explain why you're trying to start a backwards debate. You know about a valid premise. Then explain why you're trying to start a backwards debate. How am I starting a backwards debate? Can you or can you not convince me that it's false? Oh, I know what you're saying. The guy who makes the claim had the burden of proof. You're absolutely right. So if you claim it's false, you have the burden of proof. I got it. Do you think it's okay? Do you think it's okay for Christians to find enjoyment in media, which has themes and messages which go against Christianity? I don't know.
Depends on the media.
I don't know. I think I really don't know, because there are definitely some things I watch that aren't really Christ-like. Like I love the show Invincible.
Are you talking about, it's got some swear words? Are you talking about, like, we watched
I had a whole chain of thought I was going to go down, but
sorry.
you go ahead,
Go
Abby.
ahead.
No, you start. It's
done.
the Abby Steele show. You go ahead. It's all you.
We watched what was it? That British show with like the angel and the demon.
Yeah.
And then we stopped because it was like mildly blasphemous. You're like, this is. It was like it got to. There was like a couple things you were like, that's kind of not good, and then there was just more, and we're like, no, that's too far.
Yeah, I think there's definitely. I also forgot to set up your camera on the shorts. I'll have to do that another day. I'm not going to do it now. Also, I accidentally set you up in my main Get out of here. We don't need you here.
Anyway, go ahead with your stream of thought.
Okay, yeah. So here's the thing. There's definitely shows that I've seen that are not Christ-like by any means. They don't have Christian values or anti-Christian values. And I think it's okay. I've watched them. And maybe that's just me being okay with my own sin. Who knows? But with that being said, then there's parts like when I played, I use this story a lot. When I played Cyberpunk, obviously not Christian, they have that whole mission. There's like a whole entire mission where you crucify a guy. And the reason you're like the idea behind the mission.
Abby Steele Show, the real show.
It is the real show. We're trying to get it started. And she's going to focus on politics. So there's like this whole mission where you're getting, where you crucify this guy. And so in the game, if you don't know the game, there's these things called brain dances, which basically is like the future of corn. And the idea behind it is people go live and do experiences and they record it in their mind. And then you can plug it into your own mind and you could live it as if you're the person. And so this person had his reawakening, became a Christian, and he wanted people to experience what Jesus experienced. So he records a brain dance of him being crucified. So that way other people can plug it in and feel what it's like. And in the game, and I played this one, when I first played the game, I wasn't a Christian, so I had no problem doing it. When I went through and played it again, I hit this point. And there's the point where it's like, you actually have to crucify him to the cross. You're the one who does it. But it's not Jesus. It's just some guy. And they're really like, and I can't do the mission. I cannot play that. Like, I know that mission comes up. So when the guy who comes up, he's like, hey, I want you to do this mission with me, I just shoot him. So that way I'm out of it and I don't have to do it. Or I do the first part of the mission and then like, will you help us do the rest? And I'm like, no. That's what I do when I play that game. So yeah, it's I can't do that. I can't play it. That one feels really blasphemous to me, like super blasphemous. So I'd say personally, yeah, I wouldn't touch that one with a 10-foot pole. But I think there's some nuance to it, and I think you need to pray about it and try to lean into scripture. And if you're ever really curious, you can really look at what the church father said about it, and you can get their opinions and go from there. How embarrassing! Only 100 viewers. Wow, how many viewers you got? How many? Just curious. Looks like Abby has picked up our ticks. Do a bad job so we don't have to do it. What? Oh, I'm way back for some reason. I was thinking more like which promote. Yeah, nah, I don't care about that. I don't care about that. That stuff, like that stuff never bothers me, because here's the thing. Do you live in a world where movies and TV shows are things that tell stories? Right. So do you live in a world where people promote that type of stuff? Yes. So if a movie tells a story where they promote that type of stuff, that's part of real life, right? Like, it's just, oh, we hit the 20,000. Great. I have to start taking guests. CJ the Plug, really always there. He's always just like, yeah, you did it. You did it. Start taking guests. Where are you? You had the name Big John scared of me. I'm trying to bring you up and you vanished. All right, we'll move on.
Probably the person that I got rid of yesterday.
I don't know. I banned somebody yesterday too.
Oh.
Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
I'm okay. I'm 34.
All right, man. Why should I leave Christianity?
First of all, because according to the Bible, your God is weak. And I think we should just go straight to it.
Okay.
Would you like to check the Bible's 2 Kings?
So hold on.
3.
Let's do the first premise. God is weak, right? So you're going to say
That's
that?
right.
Yeah, you're going to say that because he was crucified.
No, God is king. Your God is king.
Yeah, my God, yes. You're going to say that because he was crucified, right?
No. No. So can we go to second Kings?
Well, we're not going to move on to your second point. What's your first point? You said he's weak.
Yeah, I don't. According to the Bible, I don't believe that Jesus is God. I'm talking about God the Father is weak. Yeah.
Oh yeah. In Second Kings, where he couldn't defeat a nation because they had chariots.
No.
No.
So 2 Kings chapter 3. I'll give you some context if you don't want to read the Bible. So the context of the situation is God sends the Israelites to war. They are winning the battle,
So Chemesh.
and the losing king then, in desperation, offers his heir the
It's Chemesh. I know the story.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And a wrath falls upon the Israelites, and they fuck off. So so if your God's so strong, how come the other God then manages to kick God's people away? That makes no sense, does it?
Can you prove to me it was the other God?
Right. So who did he make the sacrifice to?
Yeah, so he sacrificed his son to Chemosh, then a wrath fell upon Israel. How do you know Chemosh was the wrath?
Okay, so so we make a calculation now. So 2 plus 2 is 7.
What's your
I
argument?
make a sacrifice. I'm losing the war.
What's the
I
argument?
make a sacrifice, and then something happens according to the sacrifice. So who did I make the sacrifice to? And who then intervened according to my sacrifice?
Yeah, the king made a sacrifice to Chemosh, and then a wrath fell upon Israel. How do you know that it was
Correct.
Chemosh's wrath?
So 1 plus 1 equals 2, yes? Or not? Or equals 7,
So
according to you.
do you have an argument? Yes or no?
Yes. The order of the events. Event 1 plus 2. So that's how it works, yeah? Losing the war makes a sacrifice to his God.
Yeah.
And then the wrath falls upon the, that's the result.
Yeah.
It's like I'm running out of fuel. I put fuel in a car and I can drive again.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for an actual argument here.
There is the argument.
Okay, well, I'm not convinced.
Right, you're not because you're dumb. Because what I've explained to you now makes perfect sense.
Either way, you've not convinced me, so you don't win a taco.
So fair play. So can I just tell you something? Yeah? Please stop that taco and shove it up your ugly cunt's pussy girlfriend because she's ugly as fuck, just like you. And that bent
can you
nose
show me your
of
wife?
yours.
Can you
I wish
show me
I
your
could
wife?
get hold of you.
Show me your wife.
Yeah, I will.
Turn on your camera. Show me your wife.
She's not here, but I can show you. 1 second.
Did I get another timestamp?
Yeah.
No backbone. Yeah. Yeah. No backbone. Dang, I'm glad you showed your hand. Used to think you were a man, now I understand. First you had opinions, now you run your mouth. Had another man's wife, boy, what's that about?
Let's try again. Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you? Hello? Hello? Bossman 101.
Nigger.
A full-grown adult.
Remember I told you I had a feeling I'd be sad today?
Yeah.
Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
I am 39, sir.
All right, man. Why should I leave Christianity?
Yeah. First of all, I'm a Muslim, so I believe in the Quran and I believe in all the prophets that came before Prophet Muhammad, including Prophet Jesus, who we believe as a prophet.
I know what Muslims believe.
Never claimed divinity, and
So I know what Muslims believe. But do you have an argument? Why should I leave Christianity?
Yes, there's a couple of arguments. We can start off with one. One of them is that this is not the religion of Jesus Christ when he was alive. When he was alive, he was not a Christian, and just from a geographical point of view, he was Jewish because the people at the tribes of Judah, they were told as Jews, and they called them Jew. The word Judaism is not in the Bible. One second, let me finish my point before you try to, you go about your, sarcasm, if you may. So,
why is everybody such a dick?
Well, maybe the guy before you, or maybe you, but not me, not yet. So, let's continue. Let me just finish something. You
Okay,
asked for something.
but just
You're
make sure
looking
you
for
make sure you
guidance.
stick to the point. So your first point is Jesus is a Jew. Okay.
No, I never said Jesus is Jew. Stop putting words in my mouth. I say he
You
was
literally
not.
just said that.
No, can I finish me? Because you didn't let me. You interrupted me. You didn't
I
even let me
literally
finish
didn't
my
interrupt.
thought.
I literally didn't
Yes,
interrupt you at
sir,
all.
you did.
I didn't.
You're a spin watch. Anyway, let me tell you. First of all, he was not Christian. Jesus was not a Christian when he was alive. That's one reason for you not to be a Christian.
What was he?
Second, we Muslims say he was a Muslim because at that time, I'm gonna prove it to you. I'm gonna prove it to you if you open up your heart. Okay.
Oh my God.
Now, yes, I'm gonna give you some of the Christian love. Let's see if you're able to receive it correctly this time. So when he was born, or as he led his life, if you had the opportunity, if you really love Jesus Christ, like you truly love Jesus Christ, right? I believe so. So if you had the opportunity to go back in time and see when he was doing his ministries, and you're going to ask him one question, okay? You had the opportunity to ask only one question, okay? And this is sincerity here. This is not some bullshit that I'm making up or no tricks, none of that stuff, okay? Ask him this one question. Hey, Jesus, what is your religion? Simple question. There's no cons. There's nothing here. Simple question. He would not say Christianity because Christianity came after him or his alleged crucifixion, right? He would not say Judaism because Judaism is just a geographical term. It's not a religious term. He would say, listen to this, and if you don't attest to this, you're a hypocrite. Watch this. He says, my religion is the one that submits my will to God or thy father, whatever you want to call him. To my religion is the one that submits my will to the will of God. That's a good testimony, right? You should submit your will to the will of God, correct? Better than a man or a woman or whatever, or the devil, whatever. So by definition and by practice, he was a Muslim because the word Muslim, Islam, means submission to the creator. So the word that actually describes that feeling that he had is actually Islam, because there is no such word that exists that describes that feeling
Oh
of
my God. Let me
submission
finish
to
my
God
argument. It
and
goes on for
submission to
7
creator.
hours. Are you done?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
All right.
Go ahead.
Okay. You say Jesus is a prophet?
What do you mean? I say the Bible testifies to
Yes.
that,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Dude, do
also
you
I
believe
believe
Jesus
so.
is a prophet? Please just answer the
Of
question.
course, you
Okay,
should know
great,
that I'm a
great. So
Muslim.
then if you think he's a
You
prophet, you
supposedly
follow
know me.
Jesus, right?
Well, I'll follow Jesus, not Paul. Yes, correct.
Great. So then you're a Christian.
No, I'm not. I know the arguments you're going to use. Go ahead.
What? You're not? You just said somebody who
How?
submits their will to God is a Muslim. Well, a person who follows Jesus is a Christian.
Yeah, but
So
I am
you're a
not.
Christian.
I'm not submitting my will to Jesus. This is the see how hypocritical you sound. Come up with a better argument. You have
My
20,
friend, the only
24,000 views.
hypocrite here is you.
Go ahead. I'm going to show you. You actually worship Paul more than Jesus. You don't have a beard like him. You guys eat pork. Jesus never ate pork. You guys love pork. You guys do all of these things
You
that
ever eat
the Bible
shellfish?
told you not to do.
You ever eaten
Bro,
shellfish?
no, I don't.
You've never eaten shellfish.
No,
You don't?
we don't eat bottom sea, bottom animals from the
Are
sea.
Muslims allowed to eat shellfish?
That's up to a Muslim that supposedly you talk to. That's not even that. Why are you trying to get
Are
away?
they allowed to?
Why are you trying to get? Why didn't you stick to the topic, bro?
I am on
Stick to the
topic.
topic.
Are the
You
Muslims
coming out
allowed
with
to eat
lame.
shellfish?
You coming out with lame,
Oh my God.
lame small points. I'm talking about pork. Okay, pork is something that's nasty.
Have you ever convinced anybody to be a Muslim? Ever?
Actually, I have, alhamdulillah, about 14
What's their
shahadas in my
name?
belt. About 14. One of them was actually Joseph.
What? Joseph. Guy named Joseph. Can you call him?
Yeah. One of them was Mark.
Can you call Joseph and you can give me his testimony how you convinced him to be a Muslim?
Bro, I moved from New York here, right? In Texas. I live in Texas, okay? So if I were to call people, that's not even the point. I can call people. Even then, you would not believe. What is your point? Because you're trying to do mockery. The way you're speaking and the
can I have a coffee,
condescending
please?
way that you're approaching. Yeah, sure. You see, you got people working for you. That's not Jesus like. You telling people what to do. Grab your own coffee. How about you go grab your own coffee? And tell the lady in the back to make your sandwich too. While she's laughing.
Woman, don't even answer him. You have no
Yeah,
reason to
woman.
speak, woman. Now fetch me a coffee
Yeah.
immediately.
That's what Jesus
And if you
did
don't
too.
do it, I'm
He
going to
would
serve
say,
430 for you.
Jesus Stage.
Oh yeah. Well, how about read Numbers 31?
I'm going to
Come
serve
on, let's be a-
434 you, woman.
Let's be a
Get going.
hypocrite.
Get
Read
going.
Numbers 31,
Appreciate
17
you.
to 19.
So anyways,
Yeah, good.
why aren't you a Christian?
She's a good, obedient Christian woman right there.
Why aren't you a Christian? You follow Jesus.
Bro,
the definition
I'm telling you,
of
okay.
definition of
Now
Christian. Hold on, I'm speaking.
let's have a-
I let you yap
let's
for
have
like
a
5 minutes. Let
genuine
me finish.
Go ahead.
Right. So
Yeah.
you said Jesus is a Muslim because he submits his will to God, and the definition of a Muslim is to submit your will to God. So if we take that same chain of logic, I can call you a Christian because the definition of a Christian is to follow Jesus, and you say you follow Jesus.
Okay, I'm gonna just let you. Okay, let me just, for the sake of argument,
Thanks,
okay,
slave.
let me just tell you. Actually, she's actually liking the fact that you're giving her order. Didn't you see the smile on her face? She hasn't smiled like that in years.
I won't have to beat you with an inch of your life. I appreciate it.
Oh, actually, don't even get me started with the Bible verses there, please. That's
So
not
can you answer the
anything
question?
that you can bring up, anything that you could bring up about Quran, about beating this or that. You guys have it worse in your Bible,
Great.
but you guys like to do double play. You know,
Still waiting
you
for you to
guys
answer the
twist it
question.
metaphorically. What's the question?
Oh my!
I already
goodness.
told you. I already
All
told you.
right, stop talking.
I-
And maybe, do you
Bro.
have this? There's these things called pens and these things called papers. Do you have them?
Bro.
I'm gonna
Stop.
walk through the question
You're
again.
sounding-
We'll do it again.
I already know the question.
Oh, well, you just why didn't you ask me the question is? Why did you ask me?
We follow all of the prophets
Yeah.
because they all call to
Yeah.
one God. What does the commandment say?
So
Thou
then you're
shalt
a
worship
Christian.
one God.
So then
Thou
you're a
shalt not
Christian.
make images of God. No, I'm
So
not.
then
I
you're
am
a Christian.
better than because the word Christian is not what Jesus
to follow
practiced. So
Jesus.
I love Jesus.
Oh, it's about a
Oh, my
practice.
God.
So then Jesus. Okay, so then for Jesus to be a Muslim, he has to actually practice the Islamic belief, right?
Jesus already practiced in your Bible. He put his head down when he prayed, okay? He fell down on his head and he prayed.
Okay, so-
you guys you pretend to
Okay,
love
so
Jesus.
hold
You are
on.
pretenders.
Let's
You're called worshipers.
let's do this. Let's do
You
this
guys
chain of
drink
thought.
the
Okay,
blood of God,
prostrating.
and
Hold
you guys
on.
eat God. Come on,
wait.
bro.
Let's
You
walk
guys
through.
have
So
some weird ritualistic practice by Paul.
wait, dude. All right. So prostrating makes Jesus a Muslim. So is it true that everyone who
Not just
prostrates?
prostrating.
Hold on.
Come on, bro. Okay.
Is it true that everyone who prostrates is a Muslim?
Everyone that prostrates? No, it depends on who you're prostrating to. That's the main thing.
So
Jesus
is
prostrated
it
to
everybody?
God,
Is it everybody?
Allah,
Is it true that
Elohim.
everyone who
If
prostrates
you
to
prostrate
God
to money, and
is
if you
it-
worship your
oh my
woman,
goodness gracious,
that doesn't
gracious.
mean
Can
that's
you
God.
just stop going on tangents and actually like focus, man? ADD is a hell of a
Go ahead.
drug. So, anyways,
Go ahead. I just had coffee
is
better
it-
than yours.
is it
Arabic.
true?
You know, you love coffee,
who cares
right?
about the coffee? Just relax,
Yeah,
man.
you know Muslims invented
Dude,
coffee too.
I'm about to
So
kick you. I'm
you
about to
actually
kick
are a
you because you
Muslim.
won't listen. All right, so
Go ahead.
He drinks coffee.
all right. So, is it true that everyone who prostrates to what they believe is God is a Muslim?
No, you see, now I'm gonna in simple English that you're not understanding. Whoever you submit to, right, becomes your God. So if you submit to money, money becomes your God. Submit to a woman, woman becomes your God, right?
I
If
was
you
very specific
submit
in my
to
wording, so I know you weren't listening. I'll say it
Allah,
again.
to the
Is it
God.
true that everyone who prostrates to what they believe is God is a Muslim?
No.
No. Okay, so again, how does Jesus prostrating make him a Muslim?
Okay, not just prostration makes him a Muslim. He called out to that one and only God, Allah. When he did the
Okay.
miracles, what did he say? Oh God, before he performed the miracles, each miracle that he performed, he said he gathered, his followers were around him. He told them very loudly on purpose in the rooms that he was performing these miracles or outside when he raised the lizard or the Lazarus,
Yeah,
whatever.
that's not true.
He said, oh God,
No.
I'm doing these miracles based on, okay, read me the
That's
verses every time
literally-
he performed the miracles. Go ahead.
Yeah, so
I'm going to show you.
Yeah. So
I'm
when
going to show you your
when
Bible.
they lowered
What
the
did
man
he say? What did he say?
when they lowered
He
the man.
asked God.
All right,
Are you
I'm going to
for
move on
real?
because I've tried to answer your question and you keep cutting me
Go
off
ahead.
and you just keep yapping. So thank you for your time, man. You seem like a wonderful
sure.
guy. People like you, Jeff,
Thank you.
definitely
You
make me
too.
want to be a Muslim. Appreciate you.
Bruh.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Almost. Oh, well, you don't have a mic, so I do have to kick you. Let's try the next guest. You know what's funny? When I have Muslim on my screen, you guys notice, I told you guys this before. I have Muslims only on my screen, and then we couldn't get a Muslim to save our life. Remember that? We couldn't get a Muslim to save our life. I finally take Muslim off the screen, and then what do we get is nonstop Muslims. whatever is on the screen, the Muslim will read and do the exact opposite of. It's just a fact of the world, right? Me, I'm like, oh, I'm kind of cooked. I'm kind of like not cooked. What's the word I'm looking for? Burnt out from talking to Muslims. So I'm like, I'll take them off the screen for a while. And then what do we get? Nothing but Muslims. Oh, that's all we get. They and I noticed this even on God Logic's live. God Logic will be like, hey, I want to talk specifically about Paul. I want to talk about how Paul is greater than Muhammad. And they'll come up and be like, what about 3 gods? 3 gods, you see? That's what they do. Let me, Muslim, hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
Hey, is my mic working?
What?
My mic working?
Yep. How old are you?
All right, I'm 19.
All right, bro. Why should I leave Christianity?
So when you're not home, your wife's getting fucked by a bunch of black guys, basically, and like,
okay,
she just on Tinder deletes it off her phone so you don't see it, and
there's 2 problems
she's
with
just
that.
getting fucked by a bunch of black guys, and like, you're not at home, you got the boxing gloves, you're doing boxing, like she's really just getting pot down left and right, left and right.
Dog,
while you're doing left and right, she's getting left and right.
I heard you. I heard you. No, he left. He left on his own. Anyways, I was going to say there's 2 problems with the argument. For one, we live in a community that has like 0 black people. So that's the first problem. So I'd be very curious where these black people are coming. 2, I'm always home.
Literally.
If Abby's home, I'm home. And if she's talking about the boxing gloves, if I go to the gym, Abby goes to the gym. She's my slave. She doesn't go anywhere without me. All right, let's try the next one. Wistarian. Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
Hello, I'm great. How are you? I'm 20, by the way.
All right, man. Why should I leave Christianity?
Well, I actually kind of, I guess, joined the call, not necessarily to convince you to leave Christianity, but
then I appreciate your time.
Wait.
That's the topic.
Well, it's related. Do you mind if I just
are you going to try to convince me to leave Christianity?
In a sense.
No, in a sense. Are you or are you not?
Sure. You know what? Sure.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So, well, personally, I identify as a Buddhist. I believe in, the enlightenment path. I believe in. Sorry, I'm a little nervous.
I'm not used to. I get it, man. I get it. Going up on lives, it's a nerve-wracking thing. It is.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Well, I tend to believe that Jesus is the things that he taught, his disciples were a lot more allegorical than we are taught in modern Christianity. I believe a lot more in the, I guess, Gnostic system, say like the demiurge, stuff like that. A lot of the things that at least when I was a kid going
so let's pause there. It's allegorical, right? How do you make an allegory of a descriptive event like the crucifixion?
Well, see, I think something like that is where you get into the, literal terms of the Bible where, Jesus was standing up for this, light that is described in, hundreds of religions and spiritualities.
But you're saying what Jesus taught is an allegory. And so he came, he says, here, I will be laid down as a sin for all mankind, right? It says at the start of the Gospel of John, it says, here comes the Lamb, the one that will die for everyone's sins. And then at the end, Jesus is crucified and he is resurrected. Those are not teachings of Jesus. Those are descriptions of what actually happened.
Yeah. And that's a, great point into the, I guess, person that he was, similar to the Buddha, for example, of course, it being a different time period, a different
Buddha was crucified.
Well, no, though that's what I was about to get into is the fact that being a different period, a different time, a different place, his, I'm sure you know plenty about the Romans, so
they were definitely roaming around.
Sorry, I'm trying to like hone my thoughts here. I'm not I'm only 20 years old, so, so I'm not as literally.
Can I give you a piece of advice?
Sorry.
Even if you're nervous, don't tell anybody. Because here's the thing, right? I like to, as much as I seem like a douchebag, I'm a nice guy.
No.
But if you came up and I wasn't a nice guy and you're like, I'm really nervous and I'm scared, they're gonna just cook you and they're gonna roast you and they're gonna try to make you feel like shit. So even if you're gonna come up to these lives and talk, if you're nervous, pretend you're not. That's my piece of advice.
That's fair. Something I'm trying to get over.
Yeah, no, I feel it, man. I went on Jubilee, right? I did the 20 Christians versus Alex O'Connor thing, and I was so nervous. I had tunnel vision, and my heart was beating through my chest, and my hands were sweating pools of like blood. That's how nervous I was. I didn't actually sweat blood, but yeah, I get it. I understand. I'm just saying, don't let your opponent know.
That makes sense, and that leads on to something I wanted to bring up too. Is I something I noticed while watching. So I'll be scrolling and all of a sudden I'll pop up on your page. Is that people tend to, I guess, manifest the trajectory of a conversation. Like somebody, like the guy who was named Muslim in here who joined. What was it, 2 calls ago? He seems, I'm sure he gets along fine with, plenty of people in his life. I'm sure that,
You mean the guy that said that my wife is doing 10 black eyes?
I don't remember if it was, did that guy also say it? I don't remember. I mean, see, he was assuming, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He's assuming that you're going to be a douchebag to him. So he's preemptively being a douchebag, Yeah. I don't agree with that, which is why I come in here and I, show you the respect that I believe that I should receive. And I think people need to focus on that part a little bit more. I mean, seeing, the conversations that take place here. I don't know if that was,
We've had our niceties. What's your argument?
Oh, sorry about that.
No, you're good. What's your argument?
Yeah. My argument is, I guess, that the Bible in certain areas should be taken a lot less literally by, I guess, depending on the Christians that you talk to. And I feel like
so how do you take the parts where he was crucified and resurrected non-literally?
Well, I mean, that's something that you can take, both literally and allegorically.
So that's my question. How do you take it allegorically? Because it's a descriptive event.
Okay. Well, I mean, you have this figure who's trying to lead people to become, a better version of themselves. Teach themselves to, use their instincts to be, morally. Maybe not grandiose, but you understand the.
But you do know, the historical consensus is that Jesus Christ was crucified. Like that's not even argued.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
So
how is that an allegory? It actually happened.
Well, I mean, think about. I'm trying to think of it. A good example here. I mean, something. Oh, geez.
You just, I don't know why, you just reminded me of Morty there.
I'm kind of like Morty in real life.
Don't think about yourself like that, man. Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez. Oh, you know what? I'm young. It'd be like that. No, but say something like, let's take Breaking Bad, for example. Something like that could happen in real life, right? Somebody could go through all this like hardship. They, decide to go do something dirty and they pay for those, sins, right? Something like that.
I'm not saying how you can derive an allegory from it. I'm saying you have an event that actually happened in history and you're trying to say that, well, we shouldn't take the scripture literal. That literally happened.
Yeah, but my point is not necessarily that you can just transfer that. I guess I'm more saying that something can be truthful and an allegory. Something can be, fiction and be an allegory.
Anything can be an allegory.
Yeah,
I can drive allegory from any story I want if I truly desire to, and I'm wise enough to do it. But what I'm saying is you're saying that we shouldn't take it literal. We should take it as allegory, right? Now we have an actual event that happened, the crucifixion of Jesus. That actually happened in history. That's not even contended. Now the resurrection, that's another story. 100%. Why should I only take it as allegory? What is the only reason to take that as allegory?
it's that's that's a pretty great question, because I do believe, in 100%. I'm no denier of history, but I mean, the purpose of the Bible is so that you read these things and understand what
How do you
these
know what the
people were
purpose of the
going.
Bible is?
I mean, you would assume, I guess, as a piece of magic, and I mean,
It's
and
not
I
a
mean
piece of
that in
magic.
the like ancient term, like passing upon or imparting knowledge upon somebody else so that they can grow, or use that knowledge to affect their daily life.
So it seems like to me, man, that you're just making an argument from feelings. You feel like we should take it as an allegory. You feel like we should just take it as like, hey, this is good lessons to learn, but it's not as important. You don't actually have a reason why we should do it.
I see. I'm gonna have to come back here at a different point, because I do understand my beliefs a lot better than I let off, because on a whim I decided to join, because I thought I'd pick your brain,
Sure.
I guess, but I don't know. I guess I'll come back here another time when I'm able to formulate these things a little bit better.
Good. Yeah. Now you're going to go look into it. It's almost like that's the goal.
Hey, you know what? And maybe one day we'll be more aligned than right now. I'm glad we were able to have a great discussion, though.
Same, man. Appreciate you coming up. God bless. And again, be nervous. Don't tell anyone.
Sounds good, man. Have a good one.
Peace. Especially if you're gonna debate. I'm nervous. Are you now? Let me get my clip. It's very well could happen. But let's just do a quick.
Yeah,
I love this one.
yeah, that's right.
Awesome.
Dude George is awesome. What a great guy. An actual human being. What a concept. You're a breath of fresh air in a room full of smoke. Somebody raised you right, and it shows. You remembered how to be a decent person. You showed up with a smile, and that was enough. No agenda, no nonsense, just genuinely lovely. Where did you come from, and can you come back? Talking about you makes me smile. And every once in a while, I gotta deal with the trolls, gotta deal with the fools, gotta deal with the goblins and their basement-born views, the liars, the snipers, the chronically online. So when you show up like this, man, you genuinely shine. I'm usually drowning in morons.
I love that.
But occasionally, I get to talk about you.
All right. We don't need to do whole songs. We can just get like a concept and then jump to the next person. All right. Let's grab a individual. Hello, sir. How are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
I'm 19.
All right, man. Why should I leave Christianity?
All right. So I don't have much time, but I just want to impart a perspective onto you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who Sir Robert Penrose is by any chance?
Who?
Sir Robert Penrose.
Sir Robert Penrose?
Yeah, Penrose.
No, I don't know who that is.
So he's a leading mathematician and physicist, right?
A leading mathematician and physicist.
Yeah. So pretty much what he's discovered is that there's a phenomenon called negative time. You can do a little bit of your own research whilst we have this if you want.
Okay.
So the crux of this is that in conventional physics, there's a cause and effect relationship to everything, right?
I'll take your word for it.
Well, in conventional physics, that is a fundamental law, right? And I'm assuming the reason why you believe in Christianity is because it gives us a reason to why the universe exists, right?
Nope.
Oh. Well, I'd like to hear why. Yeah, you believe in
Jesus
Christianity,
Christ died on the cross and resurrected.
Interesting. Is that based in evidence or?
Yeah, it's inductive.
The resurrection.
Yeah, it's an inductive case.
Right.
You can keep going though. Like, I want to hear what you had to say.
Anyway,
like, the
so
suspense
pretty
is
much
killing
the
me.
crux of you stuck me. I'm not used to having. Sorry about that. So I'm not used to having the perspective of why somebody believes in Christianity being in the resurrection, rather than usually it's the God that fills the gaps. But
really, you've never read? Well, I've never read it either. But Christians spout the case for Christ all the time, and the case for Christ is a book of like a guy. What was he, a journalist?
Yeah.
Abby? Yeah, so he's a journalist who studies the resurrection, and after he tried to look at all the information, he came to the conclusion the only possibility is he actually resurrected. Now, I don't think it's a good book, personally. Again, I haven't read it, but I watched the movie. That's how I get my data. But yeah, that seems to be a big reason a lot of Christians are Christians.
Oh, that's an interesting perspective. So I just want to hear to what reasoning why is the logical conclusion to obviously the story of the Bible.
But you didn't finish your argument. You can't, bro. I got OCD. You got to finish it.
I need to hear yours.
You can't do that to me, man. I'm gonna have an aneurysm. You started an argument. We're halfway through. This is terrible. Terrible foreplay.
Okay, so I just need to understand your stance to why you believe in what you believe before I can make my argument, because obviously the crux
okay, fine. Just so we can finish this thing we're doing. I'll say that the reason I'm a Christian is because of the problem, the one of the many, and the contingency argument.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
The problem of the one of the many and the contingency argument. So the contingency argument is an explanation that God is the best explanation for the beginning of the universe, and the problem of the one of the many is why we point to a triune God.
Okay. So the belief of there needs to be a creator to explain the cause of the universe, and then the reason why you pick Jesus, and obviously the Father and the Holy Spirit could be your God, right? Just to clarify.
Sorry, what was the second part?
And then obviously your other belief is to why you actually believe in the Christian God rather than obviously any
just
other
some generic deity. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not going to divulge into the differences between different gods because I don't really believe in any of them, right? But pretty much the crux of my argument is based in breaking the cause and effect relationship. So in the phenomenon of negative time, we have observed that an effect happens before the cause. So the theory proposed by Sir Roger Penrose is, I believe it's called the conformal cyclical cosmology theory, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming you could have a cyclical universe with like the expansion and crunch.
B theory.
Sorry?
Yeah, so it's B theory with the cyclical universe.
Yeah. So this theory relies on the fact of an effect happening before a cause. And it's something we have observed on a, mind you, much smaller scale, and it's not empirical evidence to prove that it could be to a scale of that, but it is a rationalization to a degree that's something we can observe rather than obviously religion, something that's based in faith. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get it, so, but I don't know how it derives a problem.
Sorry?
I don't know how it derives a problem for the theist.
What do you mean?
Yeah, so you say you have an effect, right? We can measure the effect happens before the cause. This just presupposes B theory of time, right? That it's not a causal chain. I still don't understand how it derives a problem because you still have a cause and effect.
Okay. So the effect would happen for the cause. So the effect could cause the cause, if that makes sense. So the cause it could be the cause to its own cause, if that makes sense. So the universe could be the cause of itself.
Okay. So I think that all this would do is just create some issues with the Kalam.
Sorry, what do you mean?
Well, the Kalam cosmological argument is the cause and effect argument.
Yeah.
Yeah. I brought up the contingency argument.
The contingency argument of that there has to be a cause to the universe, right?
The contingency argument is things that could be different require an explanation. The universe could be different, therefore it requires an explanation. You can't have you can have an infinite chain of like contingent things, but the problem is you need an explanation for the totality of contingent things. The totality of contingent thing cannot be another contingent thing because it's included in the totality of contingent things. So therefore you need some sort of necessary thing. This necessary thing is what we call God.
Right. So what I'm trying to say is, sorry, I don't mean to sound condescending with my tone. I'm just trying to process what you just said. So why, obviously what you're trying to say is something can't be a cause to itself, I'm assuming.
Yeah, because you still have a totality of contingent things. So you can have an infinite chain, you can have B theory, you can have an effect be before a cause, you can have things causing themselves, but they're still contingent. It could be different. So if it could be different, it requires an explanation. That's the PSR, unless you want to deny the PSR, which would be a very interesting conversation. But I think as long as we have a PSR, as long as we have a scientific method, a reason to say, hey, something has to be the way that it is, we ultimately regress to a necessary being.
Okay, sorry. So I understand what you're saying. Could you clarify what you mean by PSR? I'm not familiar with a lot of this. I just like physics.
Yeah, PSR is the principle of sufficient reason. There are different like models and ideas of it. I'm not like extremely familiar with it, but the idea is that basically anything that could be different. So for example, my shirt is black. Logically, it could be blue. So therefore, it requires an explanation on why it's black. So we need some sort of explanation, right? So the best way to look at it, think of a triangle. Triangle by definition does not need an explanation for why it's a triangle, because triangles by definition are 3 corners and 3 sides. That is a triangle. It's axiomatic. So it's just true because it's true. But if a triangle can be blue, can be green, can be yellow. So if it could be blue, green, yellow, any of these things, it requires an explanation for why it's blue, green, yellow, any one of those things. We need some sort of explanation on how it achieved that color. It's called an accidental property. So if it has an accidental property, it requires an explanation. The universe in itself, in its totality, the universe in itself in its totality is contingent. It could be different, logically speaking. So if it's not different, logically speaking, then we need some sort of explanation on why it is the way it is.
So if I'm not wrong, I'm assuming what you mean is by proposing the cyclical theory, I'm not actually giving you to a reason why it is that and why it couldn't be something else. I need to give you a definitive empirical understanding to why I believe that and why.
No, I can accept cyclical. Say it again. Cyclical.
Yeah. Cyclical cosmological theory, right?
Yeah, I can accept that, and it still requires an explanation because even though it's cyclical, it could be different. It's logically could be a different way, so it needs an explanation on why it is the way it is.
So pretty much you're just saying you want me to back up what I'm saying.
You saying what?
I'm assuming what you're saying. You need me to back up and substantiate my claim rather than just saying it could be like that. Because what I've said so far is it could be like that rather than why it is like that, right?
No, I'm granting it. I'm granting that we have a cyclical universe. But even with this cyclical universe, we need some sort of explanation on why it's cyclical, on why it operates the way it is. Because even in a cyclical universe, it's contingent, right? Contingent just means it could be different. And because it's not different, we need some sort of necessary explanation, something that could not be different, that has to be a brute fact, so to speak.
I'm confused. It sounds like you just want me to substantiate my claim because you're saying...
No, you don't have to substantiate it. I can grant it. But it's still contingent.
Contingent as in...
It could be different.
Can be different.
Logically speaking. Maybe not metaphysically, but logically.
Logically, it could be different. Yeah. So you want me to... Okay. So, what... This is difficult to wrap my head around because I think I'm on the wrong trail to what you mean. But if I'm right, so the reason why I believe what it is because of this is due to the phenomenon of negative time. I'm just confused on what you mean by contingent. Obviously, it could be different, but the reason why...
So contingent thing. So we'll try to go back to the beginning. Anything that is contingent requires an explanation, a reason for why it is the way it is. The universe, no matter what model you hold to, B theory, A theory, secular, cause and effect, like a causal chain, still requires an explanation because it could be something different. Because it requires an explanation, we have to put something in that place, right? It's not God of the gaps. What I'm saying is, if you implement another contingent thing, well, we still need an explanation for all contingent things because they are contingent. Whatever it is, but doesn't matter what it is, whether it has a mind or whatever it doesn't have a mind. We haven't gotten there yet. Whatever it is has to be necessary. A necessary thing is something that has to exist in all possible worlds. Like you cannot logically have an existence without it, right? So, for example, a triangle, by definition, logically, in all possible worlds, is 3 corners, 3 sides. There's no possible world where triangle is different. So, triangle necessarily 3 corners, 3 sides. Yeah. So the universe needs some sort of necessary thing. Are we? Yeah. Even if we go all the way back, still needs some sort of necessary thing. The Christian would just call that necessary thing God. Now there are some arguments on why I think that creature, that being, a being is just a state of existence. That being would have a mind, would have some sort of intellect.
So, wait. Okay. Let me just try to process this. So, can you just elaborate on what you actually believe the universe is? So, do you believe that it is a cause and effect, and the initial cause is by God, right?
Yeah, I hold the A theory. So I think the A theory of time, and I think there's a chain that goes back and has a beginning.
Okay. So, what I'm not understanding is, why can't the universe be a cause to itself? Why does there need to be a...
It can be. It's still contingent.
Contingent to what? Like, I'm confused on
why... You're hyper focused on cause and effect. I'm not bringing up cause and effect. I'm just bringing I'm bringing up contingency. A thing that could be different.
Yeah, so the universe could, if you granted the cyclical universe theory, well, the conformal cyclical cosmological theory, right? It could be different. I'm assuming that's what you mean.
Yeah, it could be different.
So why is it the way it is? Is that what you're asking?
The reason, so the reason it is whatever it is, right? I think has to have some sort of necessary, some sort of brute fact explanation. I've yet to hear an argument why we don't regress to a brute fact. My argument is whatever that brute fact is, we just call God. Now I can give a different argument on why I think that thing, that brute fact, has mind. So like the principle of proportionate causality, I think it is, or something like that. I always forget what it is, would be a reason.
So, but what I'm understanding is, okay, so I guess the difference would be, I don't believe that a cyclical universe would be contingent into a degree of, well, I don't understand how it would be contingent in the way that you're describing it.
Yes, could it logically be something else?
What do you mean? Oh, like to explain it, could it be something else?
So for example, let's say our circular universe. I have trouble saying cyclical, so I'm just going to say circular. Yeah, right? Is let's say it's 100 trillion light years wide, if we were to measure it. Could it logically be 200 trillion light years wide?
What do you mean? As in, well, I'm confused on the question.
Okay, let's say in our universe we have 1 trillion planets.
Yeah.
Is it logically possible we have 1,000,001,000,001 planets?
Well, if we've measured 1 trillion planets, then no.
Yeah. Logically, not metaphysically. Those are two different things. Can you conceptualize 1,000,001,000,001 planets?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Right. Sorry. Okay. So then we need an explanation on why it's not 1,000,001,000,000 planets. There has to be some sort of reason why we didn't get an extra planet.
Okay, I kind of see where you're going with this. And one sec. Let me just articulate my thoughts properly, rather than just spouting something that misrepresents my argument.
I appreciate that. So the people in the chat, let them think. Somebody said, worry about your own planet. What? What does that have to do with anything that I'm saying?
Okay, so suppose you could, obviously, with a grid, as in when you will take a small subsection of something, measure it, and then you'll see on a larger scale, correct? Would you say that is well, as you put it, a brute fact, right?
Well, no,
if something can be observed on a
wouldn't.
smaller scale, and it holds to be true that it would be on a larger scale, would you say that's to be true?
No. So I'd say that like abstracts in general need an explanation. I'd say this is actually one of the arguments why this necessary being has to have mind. So I'd say the explanation for like these axiomatic truths, for these logical truths in our existence, are because of the mind of God.
Yeah, well, I understand the perspective of why, obviously, I understand the Christian's perspective, and not that it doesn't make sense. I just don't think it's the most logical conclusion.
Well, you asked me the question, so that's the answer.
Oh yeah, sorry. But my perspective on it, if we can measure something, obviously the effect coming before the cause, then I'm just realizing my entire view system is relying on the fill the gaps view.
Well, your view is a counter to the Kalam, and it's actually a solid counter to the Kalam argument. I would agree with that. Yeah. But I don't rely on the Kalam argument, so I've never used it. Well, I did when I first became a Christian, but
well, I guess my stance literally just derives from the fact we've observed that something can happen before the cause. So using logic, I could assume that the universe could also work on that. Not that I genuinely have definitive proof that this is real. It just makes sense to me, if that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah. No, that like I said, your model of the universe, I don't have an issue with. I'm just saying you still have gaps that you have not answered.
Specifically, what gaps? Like, I understand you're saying it's contingent, but to what? Like,
you need an explanation for whatever the necessary thing is, whatever your brute fact is. There's a gap there, right? You have a totality of contingent things that have no explanation. So you can deny the PSR. There's a lot of people who deny the PSR, but I've yet to be convinced of a reason why I should.
So, one second, let me just think. This is a much higher level of debate than I'm akin to. Usually I'll just say, I'll just promote the theory and then like kind of just work around through it, but this is really making me think.
Good. Yeah, that's good. And listen, man, there are people who have explanations for what I'm saying, right? And they go against it as well. So like I can point you in directions. Like maybe go talk to Ian. He'd be a guy who counters me, and he's really focused on philosophy. And so you could talk to him, and maybe he'll have an explanation for why. Like he holds to like some sort of mathematical universe. I'm not entirely sure what his viewpoint is. So you can ask him what he thinks and go there. And that's the point of study, and that's the point of diving into these things. You talk to me, I'm a Christian. I'm convinced because of these certain things. You talk to someone else and they're convinced because of other things. And then my hope is that through your own research and you're looking that you'll be guided by God and you'll find the truth of who he is.
Well, I'm not against exactly being Christian. And I think people who are ignorant to obviously higher levels of reasoning, and it's just, willful ignorance. And honestly, I'm at a dead end here because my reasoning behind it is pretty much just the thing that will fit the gaps. And you are right, there is a gap in the brute fact, and I probably have to do more research. I'm not Sir Roger Penrose. The guy has a Nobel Prize in physics and all that.
Yeah, there's I think there's an issue with a lot of scientists, not all of them, but a lot of scientists don't know basic logic, right? They like have the philosophy of science kind of down, but then they just kind of like have these axioms that they just hold to be true without like without really substantiating it. So maybe he has a really good argument for that, but maybe he doesn't know the philosophy behind it. I don't know. I'd have to look at him.
I'm probably totally misrepresenting his argument. Trust me, he's a lot smarter than me. And potentially you could do some research into specifically his view on it, because I mean, I would say he's the leading mathematician, especially in quantum physics.
I'm going to be real with you, man. I'm not going to. And that's not a shot at you. I have too many things on my list that I have to study right now. Adding that on is just too much. So
that's completely fine. And to be honest, if you ask me to read the Bible, I'd probably say no too, even though I know that's, willful ignorance. But yeah. Well, I really appreciate the thought-provoking conversation, but honestly, I'm at the dead end. I couldn't further this conversation if I tried.
Sure. I appreciate you being so cordial, man. God bless. Have yourself a great day. Thanks for a wonderful conversation.
Yeah. Have a nice one, man. Thank you.
W's in the chat, everyone. We love banjo songs.
Yeah. That's right. Dude George is awesome. What a great guy. An actual human being. What a concept. You're a breath of fresh air in a room full of smoke. Somebody raised you right, and it shows. You remembered how to be a decent person. You showed up with a smile, and that was enough. No agenda, no nonsense, just genuinely lovely. Where did you come from, and can you come back? Talking about you makes me smile. And every once in a while, I gotta deal with the trolls, gotta deal with the fools, gotta deal with the goblins and their basement-born views, the liars, the snipers, the chronically online. So when you show up like this, man, you genuinely shine. I'm usually drowning in morons, but occasionally I get to talk about you. I wanna talk about you.
It should be talk. Occasionally I get to talk to you. We should have, yeah.
That's okay.
It's okay. It's still good. I'm not going to change it. The music is so loud. Yes.
Jam out, my friends.
Yeah, we're not here to be silent,
monotonous,
quiet, monotonous. Yeah, we got banned for being monotonous.
We can't be monotonous.
That was crazy. That was crazy.
What a shot.
Banned for being monotonous. I'm like, wow, I'm that boring. Green light. Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
Hey, how's it going? 38.
All right, bro. Why should I leave Christianity?
Well, I'll give you some of the questions that kind of challenged me. Do you accept the Trinity?
Yes.
So one of the questions that was posed to me, you might have even heard it before, but it's giving me a challenge. So you accept that God sacrificed himself to himself?
No, that's
to avoid loopholes.
That's a heresy called modalism. You still there?
Hello?
Yeah. So that all right, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. So that's a heresy called modalism.
Okay, can you explain it to me? Like I said, I just never heard a good answer to it.
Yeah, so God sacrificed himself to himself to save him from himself. That's called modalism. That's the heresy that God is a singular person that operates in three different modes. The mode will be the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. But when you're referring to the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, it's a singular person. It's not the case. The Trinity is three individual persons, three distinct persons. They are not each other. They all have their own concepts of self. Those three distinct persons subsist in what is called the nature of God, right? So there is only one God, that is the nature. The Son, right, came down and took on flesh and was a sacrifice for all mankind. Now, the sacrifice, the idea of the sacrifice is that we've always had sacrifice. We've always had a way to overcome and repent our sins. We had the animal sacrifice. Jesus is the final sacrifice. There's no more animal sacrifice. So it's all about just communion with God. It's not a necessary condition, but it's the most efficient condition that brings us in relationship with God. And we know this evidentially speaking because Jesus' death on the cross created 2 billion Christians.
So do you think that the death on the cross is more responsible for the Christians, or like the Roman people making the or the Christian religion, the official religion.
Well, it's still the catalyst. Yeah, I don't agree that Rome like propagated it and forced it. But even if it was, it's still the catalyst that Jesus on the cross started that.
You don't think that the Romans?
But that's a red herring. I don't want to get on. I don't want to get onto that argument. That's a different argument. My whole point is, even if that is true, Jesus Christ on the cross is still the catalyst.
Well, I agree that's part of the storyline. But when you talk about people accepting,
do you know what a catalyst is?
When they're being forced to accept it via death, that seems like a pretty big catalyst.
Do you know what a catalyst is?
Yeah, something that it enhances motivation.
No, it's initiation. It's what starts it. What's what gets it going.
And you're saying that what got it going is Jesus on the cross.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you don't think that people being forced to believe that with pain of death was also a catalyst?
It can't be, because the cross is the catalyst. You can't have two.
There can't be more than one reason why people would accept something.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you can't have more than one reason on what initiates it.
Well, then by that, wouldn't Judas be the catalyst for starting this off?
Judas was part of Jesus's plan to die on the cross.
Well, okay, and so the Romans forcing you to believe it is part of the plan.
Right. So again, the Romans forcing anybody to believe it is a red herring. It doesn't change anything. Even if it was the case that they forced everyone to believe it, it wouldn't change the fact whether or not he died on the cross, whether he resurrected, whether there's no logical inconsistencies. I don't want to get into that argument. I don't think it's true, but I think it's pointless. It doesn't get us anywhere. It's a non sequitur.
Okay. Okay. So another question that gave me trouble.
Bro, you keep cutting out. I might have to let you go.
I apologize. My screen keeps cutting out. I'll do better.
Yeah.
So the other question was, is it more likely that humans invented God in their image, or God invented humans in his image?
How would we know what's more likely?
Well, I think you would look at the evidence. I think if God was creating humans, there probably wouldn't be hundreds of thousands of gods. Versus if humans created gods in their image, that would explain all the different thousands of variations of gods that have been created.
Well, no, there's other hypotheses. So, for example, there's the divine council hypothesis, which is what I hold to. So that we have this ultimate God, this uppercase G God, which is Yahweh. He created everything. But according to Deuteronomy 42, right, there were the lowercase G gods that he sent out into the world to rule over other nations.
Now, is that why he's quoted as saying, "Thou shalt have no other gods before me," because he was aware of other gods?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. And again, I know you responded to this, but you don't think that the idea is Jesus 100% God, and God is also 100% God, or is Jesus only a percentage of God?
Yeah, you can't put a percentage on an eternal infinite being, right? That's not something that you can do. So what we Christians say is that Jesus is fully God, but also fully man. There's a singular person that's in alignment with two natures. Nature is what we're talking about when we refer to God and human, right? I have a human nature, you have a human nature. My cat has a cat's nature. Jesus, the person, the individual substance, right? The self-awareness is in alignment with two natures. So he's fully in alignment with the God nature, and he's fully in alignment with his human nature.
All right. Well, I will take some of the information you've given me and get back to the drawing board, and I will give you a call back. Thank you for talking with me.
No problem, man. God bless.
God bless.
3 for 3, ladies and gentlemen. 3 for 3. Great conversations. Can we go 4 for 4?
You should do super chats.
Yes, dear.
Yes, dear.
I don't know if I have.
You have at least one.
Yeah, we only got the one.
Oh, okay.
We only got one super chat. That's unacceptable, ladies and gentlemen.
We got a lot early on.
That's unacceptable. I'm considering joining a grappling gym, but I'm not confident in my abilities. I know you and Abby practice it. Should I just go ahead and anyways? Well, here's the thing. If you're already confident in your abilities, why would you need a grappling gym?
You read it wrong for a second.
Did I read it right? I'm considering joining a grappling gym, but I'm not confident in my abilities. Yeah.
I didn't realize you were being like facetious.
Yeah. So if you are confident in your grappling abilities, you wouldn't need a grappling gym.
Go ahead. Everyone starts from the beginning. Everyone starts not knowing anything and being uncoordinated. It will help.
I literally watched Abby the other day pin a grown man down and giggle.
It was a good time.
But yeah, that's part of learning, right? And give him a year, and she won't be able to do that. Yeah.
And he is a good sport.
Yeah. Everybody has a beginning.
Hello.
Hello. How are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
I'm 25. I'm good,
right.
thanks. And yourself?
Good. All right. Can you convince me to leave Christianity?
Yeah. It's not logical. God can't be a man.
What's the proposition in negation?
So do you know how like we all have a nature, and obviously God is not in comparison to us? I believe he can't. Like, I understand you guys say
hold
like
on. You said let's rewind. Let's rewind. You shouldn't give like an example, right? You said it's not logical. God cannot be a man. So if you're going to say that, you need a proposition and a negation for that statement to be true. What is it? Hello? Okay, I need you in the app. If not, I gotta jump on. 5.
She
4,
was here on Monday.
3, 2, 1. All right, God bless.
She was the one with the God's not a man thing.
I don't know what happened there. Let's try another one. Chrono Legacy. Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
Pretty good. I'm sitting here at 27.
All right, bro. Why should I leave Christianity?
I'm not here for leaving Christianity, but I would like to discuss Christianity.
And I appreciate your time.
Are you gonna kick me out?
Well, the topic is convince me to leave Christianity. So is that what you're?
So I know the topic is, but the reason why I say that is because I would like to discuss Christianity.
In what context?
So I'm new to faith, right? I say new to faith because I ended up being brought back after 10 years of not being there, right? And it's more so less to turn you away from Christianity, but to encourage others to accept.
All right. Yeah. No. If you want to encourage others, man, I encourage you to start your own live and invite people to the faith.
Welcome back, though.
Welcome back. Glad to have you back. Nothing personal. We generally don't take questions from Christians unless we're doing an AMA day. On an AMA day, we take questions from Christians. But again, if your position is to talk to the other people, go talk to them, man. This person was already up, wasn't they? Cloud. Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How old are you?
I'm 32.
All right, man. Can you convince me to leave Christianity?
Man, your faith is strong. I doubt I'll be able to, but I'll definitely throw out some things that I think would be a reason why you shouldn't follow Christianity.
Okay.
There's just a number of things. Mainly what I would say is God's overall character and things that he's allowed.
Okay. So is God like a politician we vote into place?
No, but he does abide by certain rules that he has.
But we can get to our disagreements on like whether or not he's moral by your standard. But if God's not a politician I vote into place and he's sovereign and has control over the whole universe, who am I as a finite being that only exists for 80 years to question his moral character?
I mean, I guess that's why he gave us free will and our own.
Oh, you can. Yeah, you have the ability to do so. But I'm just saying, who am I to do it? Who am I to say that, hey, you know, I've only been alive. How old am I again, Abby? 35. I've only been alive 35 years. Most of that time, I don't remember. But yet I'm to say to an eternal being that literally creates all existence, that substantiates all things, that, hey, I don't like you, so therefore I'm not going to follow you.
I mean, that's usually what a follower is trusted to do. Once he's given the tools to follow, they usually will say like, oh yeah, like this is what I was given and this is why I'm not following.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's on you. I personally think it'd be rather silly for me to spend an eternity in hell because I think I know better than God.
I mean, it's not that I think that I know better. I'm not one of those type of people. I actually followed the faith for a really long time, and
sure,
just overall things that just don't make sense, don't line up.
Sure, yeah, you disagree with his moral character, but even there's some things in scripture that he does, and I'm like, well, I wouldn't have done that. But I'm not going to spend my life in an eternal hell just because I disagree with the way that God did something.
I mean, this might sound crazy, but believe it or not, if someone's character was just overall bad, I'd rather spend eternity somewhere else than around the person that would do.
Well, that's the gift that God has given you. What a good God that he allows you to be apart from him if you don't like him, because he didn't have to allow that. He could have forced you to be with him for eternity, even though you don't like him.
Yeah, definitely. You definitely could have.
What a great thing for him to do.
I mean, I also don't think that it's a great thing for him to support things like rape, slavery.
Oh, hold on. Watch your language. You're going to get me banned.
I'm sorry. Is grape a word that...
Basically, just throw a letter in front of anything that you think you shouldn't say.
All right, I'm sorry. I apologize about that. Especially considering someone who we claim is an all-knowing God, he definitely could have put some things better in place so that certain things didn't happen.
That's you with your limited knowledge on this planet saying you know better than God.
I mean, my limited knowledge wouldn't support grape as long as I paid the father of the woman that I raped 15 gold schmeckles.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's say your interpretation is correct to that. I disagree with the interpretation, but let's just assume it is. A 2-year-old, right, who has all their toys taken away, is not going to agree with that understanding from their parents, even though the parent could have justifiable reasons for allowing something to happen. So once again, none of this proves or disproves God. It just says you see something happened. You don't like the way God did it. Therefore, I'm not going to follow you. And your God has given you that right. You do not have to follow him based off your interpretation of scripture. And he grants you the ability to be separated from him for eternity. You have that right. Because again, the topic is you're trying to convince me to leave Christianity. I would rather not spend my eternity in hell, and I would rather align with myself with the being that created all things that exist.
Yeah, and I understand that. I'm not really trying to disprove God. I'm just trying to state certain things that, like I said, he's given us. Test of time. The Bible's still here after all this time. If it's real, they have the words in them, and these are just the words that we were given. Just like certain things, I see you have your wife over there. Does she preach the faith to anyone? Does
she better not. If not, I'll have to beat her. She doesn't have that.
Nah. Well, it's crazy that you say that because in Timothy, it says.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I've already given you an explanation on. You can take whatever interpretation you want. I've given you an explanation. Doesn't matter the interpretation for me. But you keep just bringing up another example. I'm aware of 1 Samuel 15:3. I'm aware of Psalms 96, whatever it is, where bash the infants. I'm aware of 2 Timothy, where it says that I do not permit a woman to teach. I am aware of all these verses. I've read the Bible front to back on more than one occasion. So you bringing up these verses are not going to convince me to leave Christianity, nor does it convince me that God does not exist. And I disagree with your interpretations on them.
Well, I thought the whole logic behind this thing was to convince you to leave. I'm not trying to convince you that anyone exists or doesn't exist. I never once.
Right. But I've given you, what I'm saying is I've given you an explanation on even why, if your interpretation of, for example, the grape verse, which again, I don't think is the correct interpretation, even if your interpretation of it was true, I've given you an explanation on why I wouldn't leave Christianity. But your solution is to just bring up another example. That's not even half as bad as your first interpretation.
Okay, so is this call is just, oh, say things so I can say, oh no, I'm not gonna leave. Like,
no, I've given you an explanation on why that argument is not convincing for me. Right? Do you think it's a justifiable explanation? Like, do you think it's rational? Okay. So if I have a rational and justifiable explanation, then I'm justified in believing it and holding to it.
all right, so this is usually how a debate works. Someone says something and someone debates it, and then they talk on it, and then once that's spoken on, they say something else. It's not just, oh, I gave you my answer, so that's my answer for everything.
But the thing is, you're not bringing up. Yeah, I know how debate works. You're not bringing up a new concept. You're bringing up the same concept with a different data point. That's why I'm saying it's pointless, because I've already answered. I'm going to give you the same answer for 2 Timothy that I do for the Levitical laws. If you want to, you can bring up every example that you want, and I can bring up the exact same explanation. Who am I to disagree with God's moral standing if he exists? I would rather line myself with the eternal being that created all things and assume that I don't know like he knows and not go to hell. Do you want to bring up another verse so I can give the exact same explanation?
No, I get your point. How about the fact that free will and omnipotence can't exist in the same time?
Okay, give me the proposition and negation.
Okay, so we have free will. We can do whatever we want.
Well, we can't do whatever we want.
We can't do
That's
whatever
free
we
will
want.
is.
Yeah, right. Yeah. We can try to do whatever we want.
Well, no, free will is just that our will is not governed. That's all it is.
Okay, well, my main point in that was the fact that God is all-knowing. God has created everything. So why do Christians say things like, oh, it wasn't in God's plan? That wasn't in God's plan.
What?
Okay.
That felt like 3 arguments smashed into one.
No, it was one. Okay,
can you give it to me again? Because I don't get it.
Okay, so God created everything. God is all-knowing. God knows everything that will happen.
Let me write it down. God is omniscient. Okay?
Okay, so if we have free will, how can God intervene into that free will with his own plan?
Okay. Oh, I already answered that. Humans have free will, which just means our will is not governed.
You didn't understand.
No. I did answer that, because that's not what you said when I said I didn't understand. Because you said free will means we can do anything I want. I corrected that. I said, no, that does not what free will is. Free will means our will is not governed.
Okay, that had nothing to do with what I said, but I really enjoy your live. Usually, I'm not a a-hole or anything. I know it may sound like I'm coming off.
You're a nice guy, but how does that not have anything to do with what you said? You said God intervenes and does things. How does that contradict us having free will?
Okay, so just for example, your own free will is that you wanted to do this live.
Yeah.
Okay. If that was your one plan and it was just the one thing you wanted to do,
Mm-hmm.
and God would say, "Oh yeah, like let me just destroy his computer." Like,
Okay, yeah,
that's not.
absolutely. So how do I lose my free will? Because I still made the choice to do it. I still have the will to do it. So free will is that my
I guess
government.
that.
So for God to take away my free will, he would have to change my will to say, like, I wake up and I go, hey, I'm going to do my live today. But then God intervenes with my will and I go, oh, now, okay, I don't want to do my live anymore. That would be God taking away my free will.
All right, man. I guess that's my 5 minutes of fame. I hope your live goes better. I know you usually get a lot of crazy callers.
All right, bro. Well, it was actually 11 minutes and 43 seconds of fame, but I appreciate your time.
All right.
God bless. Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
I'm 21. How's it going?
Good, man. All right, so can you convince me to leave Christianity?
Maybe. So first I want to ask, I know many people are involved in Christianity for different reasons. I would feel like it's all Christians would be at least one of these three to join, either for community, for historical, like bibliographical history, or with morality. Would you say all three or one or the other? What would you say?
I wouldn't say that it's limited to those three. And I think the first one presupposes that they don't actually believe in God. So for me personally, the reason that I hold Christianity to be true, it's not the reason I became a Christian, but the reason I hold it to be true is through the historical evidence of the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ.
Gotcha. And earlier I heard you state something on why would a person who doesn't have as much life experience as God turn away from God? And I would ask,
no, that's a bit
why
of a straw
would
man.
it?
That's a straw man. Let me steel man it for you.
What,
So
okay,
you
yeah.
can represent
Please
it well.
restate what you said, please. Yeah.
What? So let me think of the wording here. Okay. Who am I to say that with my limited amount of knowledge of the world and how it operates, that I know more than the God who created all things and who's eternal?
Okay. Thank you for restating that. Off of that point, what my question was is, why is Christianity the path for you out of the other gods that other people practice? There are heaven and hells and other God and other religions.
The death and resurrection of Jesus.
Right, but so that just gives you that's the true God. That's what that catalyst, as you said earlier, is what makes you understand that's the true God.
Yeah, so the reason I choose Christianity over Islam is because of the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ.
Okay. And so my argument past, I just wanted to ask those questions coming up, but my argument past this is just that under my understanding, humans did write the Bible, and that's just a fact. If they did have God's protection in writing that, I guess you could say protection or somehow will. I know they all inspiration. Okay. But and my thing would say that in humans writing the Bible and other religious texts on top of that, I think humans have enough morality and
what does morality have to do with any of it?
I think a lot of people think Christianity is the only way to go because it gives humans a moral context in the world.
Is that my argument?
No.
Okay.
But
so when you asked me what my argument was, and I said the death and resurrection. Hold on. You asked me what my argument is and why I believe Christianity to be true. I say the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. Then why would you say that I can find morals outside of Christianity?
Because you want to be the best person you can. And
best according to what standard?
To your own.
Okay, my own standard then is Christianity. So then why should I leave it?
But the point of living life is to live to the best experience. And if you follow...
Who said that that's the point?
Who said it's not?
That's not how it works, man. You can't just make a proposition and say, well, I'm right until you show me I'm wrong. That's not how it works. You need to substantiate your proposition.
Okay.
I can't hear you when you're out of the app, man. Need you to come back or I gotta boot you. 3, 2. All right, God bless. Guys, just a quick heads up. If you're gonna leave the TikTok app, you can't just swipe out. You have to actually leave. If you swipe out, you stay in the chat. So like if you want to come up, fine. If you want to just bad dip, that's cool too. But just to let you know, you'll stay in the chat if you just swipe out. Hold on. We haven't got a super chat in a while, so I'm gonna play this while I use the washroom. And then you guys can talk to Abby.
Toss a coin to your grifter. Big John needs to pay his bills. Big John needs to pay his bills. Oh, toss a coin to your grifter. Big John needs to pay his bills. When a humble sage graced a common thread, he was forced to engage with the brain cell dead. He sat down to fight every drooling dunce who peak evolved. Apparently just the
what are you all talking about today?
Him with their toddler takes the kind of argument a concussion makes, while the mouth breathing
this is your time to ask questions about John.
You owe me for these. Toss a coin
Funky.
to your grifter.
Did you get paid today?
Big John needs to pay his bills. Big John needs to pay his bills. Oh, toss a coin to your grifter.
I am having a good day today. I worked in the morning, then I came home, and now I'm here, just stitching away.
Total IQ they still can't afford. They argued the earth was probably flat. He bills by the
gotta
hour
make it
for
so your camera switches over.
These absolute waste. If you won't pay his rate, then take their place.
That's okay. They can still see me.
His glorious cross, every idiot.
It's not a huge deal.
Goes on your tab, boss. Toss a coin to your grifter.
Big John needs to pay his bills. Big John needs to pay his bills. Oh, toss a coin to your grifter.
You're doing a bad job.
Big John needs to pay his bills. What?
You're doing that on purpose.
I sing poorly anyways.
You do, but not that bad.
Ready? Big John needs to pay his bills. But the thing is, if I try and sound horrible, it's worse than just sounding horrible.
A friend of humanity. Toss a coin to your grifter. Big John needs to pay his bills. Big John needs to pay his
Money, 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 money,
money, money, money. Oh, toss a coin to your grifter. Money, 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 money. A friend of humanity.
Thank you all. Song. Magic song.
It works.
I would pay more to my grifter, but gas is robbing me blind right now. God bless y'all.
Fair enough.
Legit.
That's legit. But what do you need to drive for when you could sit at home and watch my show? Just saying. This person says, I want to debate you on religion, not God. I don't. But I appreciate the $4.99. Learn to talk to non-antagonistic viewers. Many of your people here want faith. Let us talk. I don't get to pick who comes up.
No, but also I think they're saying like Christians. That's not the show.
Oh yeah,
So
no.
you can go elsewhere.
Yeah.
Or start your own.
I'm not here to talk to Christians. I'm not here to edify. I'm not here to sharpen iron. I do that on my own life, my own time, my own personal time. That's not the show. That's not the channel. There are sometimes we run a show for the Christians. You have your show where it's the AMA, but this is a debate channel. That's what we do. We debate. Throws large brick. Appreciate you, Funky, but you can't be the sole person who keeps this channel going. So I might ban Funky from giving super chats for a while, just so you guys step up to the plate a little bit more. It takes some kind of hubris to say you're an arbiter of what is best possible version of you. Jizya for pretty cross stitch.
See, my cross stitch makes money.
There you go. There you go. Stop singing and pay your bills. I will. I will. The money. Appreciate you. Yeah, we did that one. In a clip you posted as a reel, use God's name in vain to curse. Is that okay? No, I didn't. You guys are talking about when I say, gosh dang it. Probably not the best move, but that's not his name, for one, right? That's a title. And two, the idea of taking God's name in vain is not to use it lightly, not to use it for a vow, or not to use it in a sense of like, I swear upon God. You are not to take his name lightly. And generally this evolved into this idea of like, hey, just Jews never said his name because they were scared of doing it, right? And again, the name is Yahweh. That's the name. I just gosh dang it. I don't think is that big of a deal. But I'll do my best not to do it because it upsets you guys. For the next Crusades, Psalm 51, 1 through 5. Abby, can you read it? Psalm 51, 1 through 5. You pull that up while I bring up the next guest.
Second.
Guys, smash the like button, share the live, do what you need to do.
Are you ready?
Yeah, go for it.
Have mercy on me, O God, according to your steadfast love, according to your abundant mercy, blot out my transgressions. Wash me thoroughly from my iniquity and cleanse me from my sin, for I know my transgressions, and my sin is ever before me. Against you only have I sinned and done what is evil in your sight, so that you may be justified in your words and blameless in your judgment. Behold, I was brought forth in iniquity, and in sin did my mother conceive me.
Damn. You know what I would love to see? I would love to see like a really good rapper, like a Nas version of rapping, to read the Psalms and turn the Psalms into an album. Like just keep the same context, the same feel, but just make the pattern fit a little bit more like modern hip hop. Because David had bars, bro. And I know not all the Psalms are from David, but he had bars. Lucas, hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you? Lucas?
Hello, I am 21. I'm doing pretty well.
All right, man. Why should I leave Christianity?
So, start things off. Do you want to leave Christianity?
No.
Yeah.
No, I do not want to leave Christianity. Hello?
I don't think you have time for this call, my friend. Sounds like you're busy.
All right. That conversation, like, do you want to leave, is like always kind of like a presupposition that the only reason that you're a part of a faith is because of like a desire rather than like a truth.
True.
Gareth, hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
Hey, buddy, I'm all good. I'm 42 years old.
All right, man. Why should I leave Christianity?
It's not about whether you should leave it, it's whether you should question what is real. Because if God gave us 10 commandments to go by, and then if you go against them, he's going to send you to fire and hell and brimstone for all eternity. But he still doesn't make sense.
What doesn't make sense about that? It seems like you got it pretty locked on.
But the thing is, you're his child. He loves you eternally. He'll send you to fire, hell, and brimstone if you go against 10 things he says.
Well, I don't actually think that's what hell is. I think that's just a conceptualized idea of hell. But even if that was the case, why doesn't that make sense? It seems perfectly logical. God give commandment, follow commandment. If not, God send hell.
That doesn't make sense.
What's like, what doesn't make sense about it? Seems pretty straightforward.
But if he sends you to fire and hell and brimstone, then he never loved you in the first place.
How do you know that?
Because he sent you fire, hell, and brimstone for the rest of eternity.
Well, again, how do you know that? That's do you know what begging the question is?
What do you mean?
So begging the question is when you assume your conclusion in your premise, right? So you have a premise: God doesn't love you, right? And you're saying because he sends you to fire and hell, well, I don't see a symmetry there. And then you kind of go in a circle.
Because if he loved you, he would never do that to you.
Yeah, that's begging the questions. How do you know that? How do you know he wouldn't do that to you if he loved you?
Well, he wouldn't do that if he did love you.
How do you know? You just, again, that's like the fourth time you just said he wouldn't do it if he loved you. How do you know?
Well, nobody really knows. Have you been to heaven? Have you been to hell?
No, I haven't. So if you don't know, then how do you know that he's not all loving?
Because he wouldn't do all this famine.
Bro, if you just say he because he wouldn't, again, I'm just gonna move on because you're not adding anything new to the argument.
Okay, move on then.
All right, appreciate you though. God bless. If God real, God do what I feel God should do. Jesse B1312. Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you? And did I just accidentally give my computer a virus by saying that out loud?
No, I don't believe so. And I'm 40 years old.
All right, man. Can you convince me to leave Christianity?
So I'll start off by saying that I'm one of those people where I'm not going to necessarily try to convince you what path you need to take spiritually, but I can talk to you about why I'm not a Christian.
Well, that's not very interesting to me. And I don't mean that like as like a condescending screw you kind of way. I just mean like your individual mental state is irrelevant to whether or not I'm going to be convinced of a specific situation.
Okay, so I guess what I mean is that I feel like what someone chooses spiritually is their own choice, but I can talk to you about why I'm not a Christian and why I feel there's definite problems with it as a spiritual path.
Well, if there's problems with it, then you shouldn't say, well, this is just something for me personally. You should say these are problems for the religion and why it's not true, and then use that to try to convince me to a true. Like you probably, as an individual, want more people to believe as many true things as possible, yeah?
Absolutely.
Okay, do you think Christianity is false?
Christianity, yes.
Okay, then convince me of why it's false.
I'll start off by saying that I feel that there's a lot of flaws in the basis for the Judean faith, just in the root of the fact that they believe that God is a he. Men have been seen as figures of power for centuries, eons.
Mm-hmm.
But God, in my personal belief, being Native American spiritual, I believe in one creator. I believe in a divine creator. But I don't believe that God has a gender. Gender is a human or a construct, earthly construct. We need gender to procreate.
Yeah, so
but the divine creator.
Christians also don't believe that God has a gender. When we call him he, it's anthropomorphizing.
Okay, well, you'd be surprised how many Christians are so hung up on that they genuinely believe that God is a he.
Well, it depends, right? Because Jesus is God and he took on flesh. So by definition, he is a he.
In that context, you could say that if you believe in Jesus Christ, that God is a he. And I will agree with you on that. Me personally, I don't believe in Jesus Christ. I have a huge problem with even just the basis of the entire.
But this just sounds like emotivism. It just sounds like you emotionally do not align with this, so therefore you think it's false.
Well, no, I mean, so, okay, just like, in almost every Christian church, they call him Jesus. But yet the Bible says, even if we want to talk about which Bible, there's a whole other problem in itself. The Bible says that, his name was Jesus, but these are translations when we know that they didn't have a J and that his name would have been Yeshua, which was closer to Joshua. It wasn't Jesus.
Yeah, so it's a transliteration. It kind of transliterates, right? Because why we transliterate is so that people from other cultures can. I'm trying to explain exactly that question you're asking. So, a transliteration is something that's given so another culture can pronounce something better. So, for example, my name is Jonathan, which comes like from Johanovich, right? Which was like more difficult for people in my culture to pronounce. So, when you have Jesus, right, or Yeshua translated into the Latin Vulgate to Isus. Right?
I understand all that.
And then Isus transliterated into Jesus. So yes, if you do it direct from English to Hebrew, it wouldn't work, right? You wouldn't translate Yeshua into Jesus. But if you do from Hebrew into Koine Greek and then into Latin and then into English, you get Jesus.
Right, but I feel like all that's just a bunch of nonsense when his name is Yeshua, and that's not hard to pronounce. So I don't understand why people wouldn't just call him Yeshua.
It's not nonsense.
Especially when it specifically says that there is strength and power in the name. So why wouldn't you want to call him by the given name?
So the name is about authority. The name is about authority, and you use transliterations all the time. Like, what's your name? Your name is Jesse. That's a transliteration of a different name.
Right, but if I moved to Russia, I wouldn't have people call me the Russian variant. I would expect them to call me Jesse.
No, but if they recorded events about you in your life and then transliterated or translated your name into events that happened around them, they would transliterate your name.
Right, okay, and I get that. But I guess what I'm saying is if you have knowledge that his name was Yeshua, why would you still not call him Yeshua?
Because we transliterated it into Jesus.
Okay.
We do this all the time with every single person that's ever recorded in history.
Okay, so there's an issue for me. The fact that he is often portrayed as white. The man that walked the earth as Jesus of Nazareth was not white. He was Hebrew. He was,
how do you know
what
color he was?
He was bronze-skinned and hair like wool.
And also in that same verse, it said his eyes were lit on fire.
Right, but it said he had bronze skin and hair like wool. He was far from white.
And it said his eyes were on fire in that same verse. So why are you taking those parts extremely literal, but not the part where his eyes are on fire?
Well, I would think that you should take it all literally.
Okay, so Jesus walked around with bronze skin, right? White curly hair, his eyes on fire, and stars behind him 24/7?
Well, that was after the resurrection, but I wouldn't think after the resurrection that his skin and his hair would change.
Right. So do you know what what's the word I'm looking for? Apocalyptic literature is?
I've never touched on it. It's a new phrase to me.
Yeah. So apocalyptic literature, which is the genre that Revelation is written in, uses visual representation to get meanings across. It's like poetry.
Right.
When they're describing,
Revelation.
Let me finish my sentence, please. When they're describing Jesus, right, in his appearance, they're not describing what he actually looks. They're describing a meaning behind it. Every meaning, the white curly hair, the fiery eyes, the bronze skin, all derives a different second layered meaning. And this is why there's 7 lampstands. There's why that they're lit on fire. This is why stars fall in the sky. Angel comes out of the ground, puts his feet into two places. Now, you're not taking any of those literally, and nor should you, because it's apocalyptic literature. Now, I'm not saying Jesus was white. I'm just saying, who cares?
I think it matters to represent him properly.
No one. How do you know what he looked like?
He was Hebrew. I think it's pretty fair,
So
pretty
he was a
safe to
Jew.
say we can.
Hold on, he was a Jew. You've never seen a white Jew?
Jews, I promise you, in the day of Jesus's day, did not look like the Jews that we know today. They were not that fair.
How do you know? How do you know what color skin they had back then?
Okay, well, that's not an argument that I'm willing to have. But I think if you look at just the where people migrated from, the trade out of Egypt, there's a lot of things that lean towards that the people
Jesus was most likely olive,
skin.
right? If we're looking statistically, he was most likely olive. So it wouldn't be brown, he wouldn't be black, he wouldn't be white, he'd most likely be olive, which would be very much up the middle.
He wouldn't be black.
Please let me finish a sentence, bro. I'm letting you speak. I'm listening to you. Can you please let me finish a sentence? Thank you. Great. So he was most likely, just looking at like a Bayes analysis or statistical average, he was most likely olive, which would have been right up the middle, right? You can look at an olive person and say, oh yeah, that's a darker complexion person, more towards brown. You can also look at an olive person and see like white complexities, which seems to be, very like in line with Jesus being aligned with all nations and all people. So again, I'm not too sure why his skin color is relevant to anything at all, because in white communities, they portrayed him as white. And you know what? If you went to Asian communities, you know how they portrayed him?
Right, but I feel like that to me, I have a problem with misrepresenting the person that you're calling the Messiah. Why would you not represent him?
Why are you not answering my question?
Because people are wrong. He's not real. John
I'm just saying, if Jesus was real, why would you not represent him exactly as he was?
Here's a real story.
Or
John once
close
thought
as
my
you could
hair was
possibly
blonde.
get.
Does that mean I don't
I'm
exist?
sorry?
John once thought my hair was blonde. Does that mean I don't exist because he should represent me correctly?
Your hair is not blonde, but that
I
doesn't
know.
mean you don't exist.
Okay.
Oh.
I'm just
Wow.
saying it would be a misrepresentation to represent you otherwise, and that would not be true to
My
yourself.
goodness gracious! Like,
And
beyond that, how
who
about
cares?
there's more flavors of Christianity than Baskin Robbins has ice cream. So if Christianity was the one true message of God, wouldn't it be a little more clear cut? Wouldn't God make sure that God's message was
How do you know?
able to reach people with more clarity?
And now everybody's gonna say I kicked him because he was cooking.
you picked literally all of the worst arguments I've ever
Literally 1990.
Just rapid fired.
Reddit atheism.
The picture is me and John, yes.
Chrono Legacy. Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
27 again, man.
Sorry?
I talked to you earlier.
Oh, okay. We want to try to keep it for newer people. And you can't come up because somehow you figured out how to get your camera on, and we do not allow anybody to come up with a camera unless you are an official co-host.
Oh, Striker, you just missed. You missed something great.
Was it great?
It was.
Can you put an asterisk beside that one today? It might be the one I post on Thursday.
How did court go though?
Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
Hello, I'm 26.
I can barely hear you, man.
Hello.
Still
I'm
the same
26. Can you hear me?
I can make you out barely, but like I don't really want to engage in a conversation where I'm constantly asking you what you said.
Can you hear me now?
You're not changing anything, man.
What's wrong?
All right.
I don't know.
Go have a gander at it, and when you figure out, come on back. Cavalieri, hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. I'm 47 years old.
All right, man. Why should I leave Christianity?
Well, can you please define Christianity first?
Sure.
Because when people talk about Christianity, I think they have very different ideas of it.
Yeah, a Christian is somebody who adheres to the Nicene Creed.
Yeah, so I believe that when a lot of people talk about Christianity, like most people that were debating recently, a lot of people don't really have a problem with Jesus or God, but they do have a problem with the way.
Are you Christian?
I'm Christian. I consider myself Christian.
I think you should have a little sign.
The topic says, convince me to leave
I
Christianity.
know, but not even the disagreeers read the topic. Nobody reads the topic.
But I'm just saying, it's fine. If they come up, I'll just boot them. Because the topic says, convince me to leave Christianity. So if you're a Christian and you're up here to convince me to leave Christianity, may Jesus smite you. VSC. Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you? VSC. VSC. All right, appreciate you. Okay, we've gone through that queue.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How old are you?
I'm 18.
All right, bro. Why should I leave Christianity?
I personally think that Christianity is more of like a hope that was given to man, or like a purpose that was given to man.
That is true.
To kind of fulfill themselves. You know what I mean? Like, I think he gave them that purpose to live a better life, you know, because he can bring anybody in. Like the story where he met the I don't remember. It was the lady at the well. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. So
and he took it down to the city, and he was like, "Whoever cast the first stone." You know?
Why would that debunk Christianity? Just because
I
Jesus
feel
gives
like
you
that
hope
would
and a
just-
promise and a purpose, how does that debunk it?
I don't think it's like. I think that the only purpose for that was to try to make people not fear death.
Okay, but that can be a consequent. That doesn't debunk it. So like Christianity can be true, which means people no longer fear death. They have hope. They have purpose, right? They have meaning. All those things could be true. That doesn't debunk Christianity.
But then, if he's a loving God who's trying to save everybody, and only, I think it's like 56% of, or no, it's like 40% of people stay with the religion that they were born in, and only 9% change. Like, how could you say that Christianity is real along with all those other religions?
You haven't derived any reason why I shouldn't. You're just saying there are other religions, right?
No, I'm trying to tell you, how is it real?
Yeah. So but that's like saying, hey, counterfeit money exists, therefore real money isn't real.
But I don't. Okay, well, I guess. But if it's a faith-based thing, how am I supposed to debunk what you believe if there's no like history that I could pull out and be like, here's why it's not real?
So faith is trusting in a promise.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Yeah. So if Jesus didn't want any evidence, why did he resurrect in front of his followers?
I'm telling you, there's no evidence for me to be like, yeah, this is definite proof that it's not real.
Right.
So how am I supposed to debunk what you're saying?
If you're just conceded that you can't convince me to leave Christianity, then.
Well, I think it's not possible to like debunk Christianity. I think that
why not?
Watch me
debunk Islam in 5 seconds. Islam makes an affirmative claim that Jesus Christ was not crucified. All the historical evidence says he was crucified. There's a proposition and a negation there. Both cannot be true. All the data says that he was crucified, so I have a justifiable reason to reject Islam and say that it is false.
All right, let me ask you, why do you believe in Christianity?
The death and resurrection of Jesus Christ.
And you feel like he's changed your life through believing in that?
What does it have to do with anything? Even if he didn't, it'd still be true.
So, like, even if he did nothing for you, you'd still believe in him just because you believe that he was crucified and rose again.
Do you prefer believing true things or false things?
I don't think you can. Like, you can't.
Can you answer the question? Do you prefer believing in truth things or false things?
True, right? Because I feel like that question though is just like random.
Right. So
like,
I'm convinced that the death and resurrection is true, and I prefer believing true things.
So you're saying that you know it's true, and instead of believing,
I said I'm convinced
against it, that'd be false.
I said I'm convinced it's true.
So, what would you say to somebody then that hasn't really experienced Christianity? How would you make them feel that what you're saying is true?
I would tell them to study historical Jesus, look at the data, remove dogma, and come to a conclusion.
What evidence, what historical stuff do you have?
Do you have an argument on why I should leave Christianity? Yes or no?
I guess not, man.
All right. I appreciate you. VSC. Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you? All right, we giving you a second shot. I got to throw you in the block now because you just keep coming up. We'll just keep having the same issue. Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
Hey, I'm 27.
All right, man. Can you convince me to leave Christianity?
So I want to start by asking you, like, why you think evil exists in the world, like apart from God, or I mean, apart from humans and their free will.
Okay.
Like, why you think evil is in the natural world?
Yeah, I think.
Or what do you think would be evil?
Yeah, so I think evil exists because there is a thing that is good. That thing that is good is God, and anything that's a privation of God is evil by definition. I think to have evil, you require a God.
To have evil, you require a God.
It's a
Why?
necessary condition to have evil. Because without God, you do not have
Why?
good. Because evil is the privation of good.
So, because God exists, it requires a little like lemur that's born in the jungle to suffer with blood like cancer off of the bat, or why are not all animals herbivores?
That's not evil, that's suffering. Those things can be synonymous, but they're not always synonymous.
Okay, let me reword the question then. Why does suffering exist?
Yeah, because we live in a fallen, broken world, and it gives meaning making, and some of it is unnecessary.
Why would God create a fallen, broken world? Can you tell me that?
It's phenomenal. It's almost like I was trying to answer your question, and you jumped in the middle of my sentence to
keep going, bro. Sorry.
All right. So yeah, because we live in a fallen, broken world, because we chose to create a fallen, broken world, there is unnecessary suffering, there is unnecessary evil, but God is still just and good and loving because He defeats it in the end.
We chose to have evil. How's that?
Yeah, we chose to have
or
evil
suffering,
when we chose to separate ourselves from God.
So you're saying Adam and Eve, that's when suffering came into the world?
They introduced it into the world, yeah. They introduced the privation of good, which is evil. And then we, on our day-to-day basis, continuously introduce evil in by choosing not God.
I'm not talking about us as humans, how we inflict suffering upon each other. I'm talking about, you just said that we inflict suffering upon each other.
It's not nowhere even in the realm of close to what I was saying. It's almost like if you were listening instead of like looking to interject, you would have heard what I was saying. I'm not interested in repeating myself. So do you have an argument?
That doesn't really explain why suffering in nature exists. You never really gave me an argument to explain it. You don't need to explain why suffering exists. Why didn't God just create the world and make all animals herbivores and eat plants? Instead, they kill each other painfully in nature. That's an argument. That is a good argument. That is senseless suffering. And you can't explain.
Questions are not arguments.
Okay, you're an idiot, bro. Like, just get me off the call. You think you're smart, bro.
Are you not smart enough to leave it on your own?
You can't even answer my question. You can't even answer my question. You're just going around the point. Why does suffering in nature exist?
Hey, real quick. You think I'm an idiot. Are you smart enough to figure out how to leave the call on your own?
I don't care to leave the call. You can kick me, bro. You can't even answer my question. You're like, you can't even make a point.
Is this the skip me? Are you the skip me, bro? Skip me, gang. I'm not even interested.
Can you answer people's questions properly, or just you sit there and act smart and make word salads that don't actually mean anything?
So the thing is, I tried to answer your question a couple times and you didn't listen.
I'm listening because you didn't give any proper arguments or logic as to why suffering exists.
Do you have an argument?
Do you have a response?
Sure. Suffering exists because God wanted it.
Because God wanted it. That's not an argument of God's logic. So whatever God does is just the moral standpoint.
Yeah,
that doesn't really make any sense.
Why am I wrong?
You understand how that doesn't make sense? Why, if anything he does is moral?
Why am I wrong?
That's a logical fallacy. If anything God does is moral, then morals don't mean anything.
Which fallacy?
Yes, it is.
Which fallacy is it? He doesn't know how to leave. See how he swiped out of the app thinking that he left? And he's the one who called me an idiot.
Bro.
Appreciate you.
Which one is it? Yes, it is. Which one?
Alex, hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you? Okay, hold on, sorry, Alex, I don't mean to cut you off. For everybody listening, I don't actually think God created suffering because he wanted it. I was being satirical. Sorry, Alex, go ahead. How old are you?
I am 22.
All right, bro. Why should I leave Christianity?
Well, Do you want to leave Christianity?
Nope.
All right. Then, so what? Okay, so I am an atheist, and I believe. So I have reasons to believe why I shouldn't believe in God or just religion in general. What reasons do you have for believing what you believe?
So what are your reasons to not believe in God? Because you're trying to convince me to leave Christianity. You said there are justifiable reasons to not believe in God. Just give that to me and it'll convince me to leave Christianity.
Yes. For the reason why I typically don't believe in religions is because of just evidence that I can see and verify myself and say, okay,
so
this.
So instead of just like vague references, give me the argument and the data. Like what evidence said that God didn't exist?
So, for example, the hold on. Sorry, I need to look this up. The Bible says the Earth is like 6 million years old.
The Bible doesn't mention the age of the Earth at all.
Okay.
But even if that was the case, all that would do is debunk Christianity. It wouldn't debunk the existence of God. But fair enough, that would make me leave Christianity if that was true. But you said you're convinced on why there is no God.
Yes.
What is that?
Well, one thing I look to is evolution.
Why is God and evolution incompatible?
Since the Bible says
that's Christianity specific. You said you're atheist. I'm very interested in why you're atheist, not Christian.
Oh, okay. Well, the reason I believe in evolution is
I didn't ask you why you believe in evolution. Pay attention, man. You seem like a nice guy. I'm not trying to throw shade at you. You said you're an atheist. You said there's good reasons to be atheist. I'm asking you what those good reasons are to be atheist. Now, in all fairness, my title does say convince me to leave Christianity. Now, you keep bringing up points specific to Christianity. Not Christian is not atheist, right? It's just not
fair.
Christian. So why are you convinced of atheism?
So, all right, do you want evidence or do you want me to explain my reasoning for being atheist?
Both, if possible.
So, my reasoning for being atheist is I have things in like natural phenomena to me can be explained without the existence of a God.
Okay, so how is that incompatible with the existence of God? Just because I can explain a natural phenomena using natural phenomena doesn't mean that God doesn't exist.
That is a good point.
I think what you actually are, if I'm going to be honest, is agnostic. Because atheism is a positive claim. You are atheism, no God. That's a positive claim. Agnostic is I reserve knowledge. I don't know or it cannot be known.
Yeah, I guess that's more accurate. That is accurate.
Okay, cool. All right, fine. So with that being said, you had specific arguments against Christianity. What are those?
So one claim that is made is that man was made in the image of God.
Okay, what does that mean?
To me, that means, the way I interpret this is that God looked at himself. So like the way I'm interpreting this is like God looked at himself, said, okay, person looks like this, made after me. The way, but I
can I
disagree with
point out an issue right off the bat? Through your interpretation, you came to a conclusion that Christianity is false. Are there other interpretations?
What other interpretations do you want me to?
Well, for example, my interpretation of being made in God's image comes from the idea of ancient Near East temples. In the ancient Near East temples, which again, Judaism is an ancient Near East religion. In ancient Near East temples, there was an image. An image was a representation, not something that actually looked like their God, was a representation of God. God made humanity in his image and made the universe the temple. God is flexing on these other gods. So we are supposed to be the representatives of Yahweh while we're on earth. Shut up, Abby.
So actually, that's really cool. Because
damn straight it
like
is.
I think the word God. Sorry, I'm like I think about this differently. It's like where I think God came from was people want an explanation for things, right? Like so, like for people, I guess like I guess it's like wanting like there to be a conclusion, like there to be something like substantial to like be like, okay, this happened because a deity made it happen. And I think that's where a lot of religion came from. And I think my argument is it doesn't have to be the case that a deity.
Yeah. It seems to be your argument is that people desire God, so they invented God. But that's kind of silly because humans desire water, but we didn't invent water.
It's, well, yeah. I think, like, water just exists, right?
God just exists. What are you laughing at?
Well, okay, that is a pretty good.
What did he say?
Yeah. 1 second. He said came from TikTok to say John worships. Go ahead. That was just funny.
All right.
This person, you can go get a glass of water. You can't go get a glass of God.
Yeah. Like, I think the reason God came to be is more of an explanation for why things exist. It's less.
I'm not convinced.
Like, I know.
It's to me when people say that, like, hey, the reason that gods exist is because people just needed to fulfill this desire that they just had for some stupid reason. That to me feels like a cope.
Yeah. Like I think you are very accurate in saying like I don't have a way to disprove God. Like I will concede that point.
Based.
But I also have for me, the explanation why there is water on Earth is because meteors carrying water hit the Earth when it was forming, and now there's a lot of water on Earth.
Where do those meteors get their water?
Well, they carried the water, so there was.
It just always had it. Is the necessary precondition to be a meteor, or is you had to have water?
Well, I mean, meteors carry anything really. It's water, like hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, helium are like the most common ingredients in the universe.
Crazy.
Most stars are made of hydrogen. Like most rocks are made of carbon. So it's likely those meteors just hit the Earth when it was forming.
Yeah, so
and then
what?
there was
What is your point?
Water.
What does this have to do with anything?
Well, like that's my
okay,
that's
but then where do they get their water? You said they have the necessary conditions for water. Well, where do they get those necessary conditions? And if that's the case, why can't the planet Earth, just already have those necessary conditions if the meteors just had those necessary conditions?
The water probably formed somewhere else in the universe, and then by a happen chance, just
that's a whole lot of faith you're relying on there, bro.
I mean, it's like, for me, the universe is just lucky chaos, really. Like
you know how lucky it is? 10 to the power of 10 to the power of 121.
Yeah. That is, it's, I love that so much because it's just
so lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like the ratio of the universal forces. I think it's like the strong to the weak force. It's like 1 to 100, I think. Where if it were any different, everything would collapse. And like nothing would exist. And it's just
you're really making a case for atheism here.
Well, I'm not trying to. I just want to. It's like I want to like explore thoughts and like reasons why. Like I'm trying to explain the reasons why I believe certain things, and I want to hear what you believe about certain things, and just compare. I realize that's not really the topic of the call.
That's okay. John has been begging for somebody to explore ideas with for days. So that's great.
Yeah.
All right, bro. Anything else?
I don't got anything else. I enjoyed this talk though. Like it really, I don't hate that you made me like question a lot of things. Like I need to think about certain things too, because like it's, to me, some things don't add up, and I want to like know those things. You know, I'm a curious person. You know,
based. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you. If you have anything else in the future, feel free to come up. God bless.
Yeah. God bless. Yeah. See ya.
Skeptical theism for the win, ladies and gentlemen. It worked for atheism for years. All you had to do was plant little doubts of Christianity, and people just like left and became atheists. Plant little doubts about atheism, they're just going to leave and become Christian. That's how it works, right? You're not Little John.
How dare you?
Little John. Yeah, I don't trust you because you're trying to send me files. All right, let's bring up the next guest. Let's try this guy. We're having a great live today. Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
I am 29. It's nice to meet you. Thank you for having me on here.
All right, man. Can you convince me to leave Christianity?
First, I would like to know what your definition of Christianity is, because it means a lot to a lot of different people.
The Nicene Creed.
The Nicene. I'm not familiar with the Nicene Creed. Could you educate me?
We believe in one God, the Father Almighty, maker of heaven and earth, of all things visible and invisible, and in one Lord Jesus Christ, the only Son of God, begotten from the Father before all ages, God from God, light from light, true God from true God, begotten, not made, of the same essence as the Father. Through him all things are made, for us and for our salvation. He came down from heaven, he became incarnate by the Holy Spirit and the Virgin Mary, and was made human. He was crucified for us under Pontius Pilate. He suffered and was buried. The third day he rose again. According to the scriptures, he ascended to heaven and is seated at the right hand of the Father. He will come again with glory to judge the living and the dead. His kingdom will never end. And we believe in the Holy Spirit, the Lord, the giver of life. He proceeds from the Father and the Son. Well, you can disagree about the preceding part, but and with the Father and the Son is worshipped and glorified. He spoke through the prophets. We believed in one holy Catholic and apostolic church. The word Catholic just means correct. We affirm one baptism for the forgiveness of sins. We look forward to the resurrection of the dead and to the life of the world to come. Amen. If you disagree with the foundation of that, you cannot be a Christian.
Okay. So I guess my argument is I don't believe the modern church is a representation of the body of Christ. So
are you just an
modern churches?
Are you just an apostolic Christian?
Yes, I mean I believe in Jesus. I would.
God bless. Not interested. Find something better to do with your time. Don't fight with other Christians about whether or not we have atheists, Muslims. We have a whole other world to fight. Stop fighting with other Christians.
So many people to fight.
Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
I am 26.
All right, man. Why should I leave Christianity?
Yeah, so I usually use this argument. Are you familiar with the story of Abraham when God showed up to him in human form?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so when God showed up to his doorstep with two angels, who was the person of God?
Who was the person of God? There is no person of God. That's a category error.
Who was the human in front of the door of Abraham?
Yeah, all three persons were the three members of the Trinity.
No, well, actually, two of them were angels.
What does the word angel mean?
The word angel is like angel of God. It's like how do you say? It's
I know
like
who you are. We're kicking you. It's going to be 2 seconds before he starts calling Abby a whore. I think I'm 90% sure it's that guy. Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
Hey, I'm good, man. I am 33.
All right, man. Why should I leave Christianity?
Yes, I mean, I don't. At the end of the day, I'm not going to say you absolutely should or shouldn't. I think my argument basically comes from an Occam's razor point of view. So I guess my main question would be: do you think a God is necessary for the existence?
Can you steel man Occam's razor for me real quick?
Oh yeah, it's the most simple explanation is the one you should go with.
And so it's the more parsimonious, right? Because simple is very vague. So it's just like the Occam's razor, by definition, is a hypothesis that has the fewest amount of arbitrary propositions is more likely to be true. Yeah. So when we say simple, people often attribute it to like, well, God is more complex, therefore it's less likely. That's not the case.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
As long as we're on the same page.
Yeah. No, I think that's totally fair.
Okay.
Yes. So I guess then would you consider God necessary for the existence of the universe?
Yeah, I think God's necessary.
Okay.
If
I
not,
mean, why would you say that? Sorry, say that again.
Why would I think God is necessary? Because you need a necessary explanation for the totality of contingent things.
Sure. I mean, that assumes. Are you familiar with the zero energy universe theory?
No.
So basically, it's the idea. People say, "How do you create something from nothing?" The idea is, my background's in accounting. We have a ledger, so you have a.
That's the Kalam argument.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that term, but if it sounds familiar, it's probably the same thing then.
No, what I'm saying is it sounds like you're refuting the Kalam argument, not the contingency argument.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that argument or that terminology.
Yeah, you're basically saying something has to come from something, right? And so that's the Kalam argument that Christians use, the Kalam cosmological.
I don't think that's what I'm saying. I think the idea is that, and maybe it is, and maybe we're just using different terminology here.
Okay, what's your argument?
Sure. I think the argument is it is entirely possible that in the universe, the universe that we exist in, there's an equal amount of positive energy and equal amount of negative energy. Mm-hmm. So it's not that something came from nothing. It's that there is still, at the end of the day, an equivalency of nothing. And it is just showing up in different forms.
That has nothing to do with the contingency argument. The contingency argument basically states that we have a universe full of things that could possibly be different. Anything that could possibly be different requires some sort of explanation for the way it is. The totality of contingent things requires an explanation. It cannot be another contingent thing, because then it's included in the category of totality of contingent things. So therefore, just by reduction, we need a necessary thing.
So, okay. So you would say that God is the necessary.
I just say whatever that necessary thing is we call God. I have different arguments on why I think that being is just a state of existence would require a mind. But at the end of the day, this is not the argument I use to believe in Christianity. It's just a reason why.
Yeah, this is more theism broadly, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, would you not agree, though, if we're taking the many worlds idea, that there are different quantum fluctuations in the possibility of energy existing in every state that is theoretically possible for it to exist?
Yeah.
Is not.
That's within my argument. That's actually a necessary part of my argument.
Yeah. I don't understand why you need something before that. If the idea is.
It's not before. That's what I'm saying. You're focused. You seem to have like this preconceived notion of like what other Christians said. Well, you're doing the kalam cosmological, right? Everything that has a beginning requires an explanation. The universe had a beginning, therefore it requires an explanation. That's the kalam.
Okay.
Now you're just removing the fact that, well, that explanation is just, it's necessary. We have the energy. What I'm saying is we have contingent things. A contingent thing is something that could be different, logically speaking. If it could logically be different, it requires an explanation for why it is the way it is. It's not about beginning. It's about why it is the way it is, right? It's not about how it starts, just why it is. Now, it could exist for eternity. It could exist forever. So, for example, you can have an eternal forest. You can have a forest that has always existed, goes off in every direction, is infinitely big, but you still need an explanation for why the forest is the way it is. If it could be one tree more or one tree less or one tree taller or one tree shorter, the PSR says that, hey, we need an explanation for that. Now, you can't just throw in another contingent thing because it'd be included in the totality of contingent things. So therefore, we require some sort of necessary thing.
I think I understand your point. Mm-hmm. So do you believe there's other realities, or do you think this is the one, in quantum mechanics, that sort of thing? I don't think I don't think that itself can exist totally separately from I think theism.
I don't know how you separate realities.
If the idea is quantum branching, the idea that if two things are equally possible or similarly possible under the laws of physics, that would cause a split.
But how do you have two realities? Can you define reality for me?
Sure. I mean, if I was choosing between wearing a red and a green shirt today, and I put on a green shirt in the one we live in, and maybe in a different timeline, someone put on a red shirt. Now, the reality I live in, I didn't wear a red shirt today.
Yeah. So is it possible world semantics, or are those actualized worlds?
I think the best scientific theory is that those are actual worlds right now.
Okay.
Not universally.
So why is that not just part of the same reality?
It does not seem true to me in my lived experience that I wore a red shirt today.
Yeah, but why isn't it just true that in the same reality, there's a version of you that wore a red shirt and the version of you that wore a blue shirt?
Okay. I guess that seems like more of a semantic difference. Would you disagree?
No, I think it's important, because if you're saying realities can be split, then we need to define what a reality is.
Okay. That's fine. I'm not sure if that has to. We might be too off topic for the initial conversation, unless you think this is relevant. If it is relevant, I'm not necessarily seeing it.
What I'm saying is, though, it doesn't matter how many versions of you exist, right? They're all contingent, could be different, right? So we need an explanation for why it is the way it is, and it has to be something necessary.
So necessary as in something had to create sort of like the laws of physics?
It doesn't have to be, no, it's not something that creates. It just has to be something that could not be different.
Something could not be different. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So for example, something that is necessary is the number one. The number one cannot be different. In all possible worlds, the number one is the number one, right? Yep. That is a necessary thing. So we need an explanation of all contingent things that could be different. And that thing is a necessary thing.
The necessary thing just being one as a constant.
Well, so I'd actually argue, like, for example, the number one is also an evidence on why this necessary thing needs a mind.
Okay. So you're saying, you're going, I won't use the term before, but the above or whatever we want to say here.
Well, above, before, below, none of that matters. I'm just saying there needs to be an explanation. If you want to deny the PSR, you can. There are people who do that. I have yet to be convinced of a reason to deny the PSR.
I'm sorry, what is the PSR?
Principle of sufficient reason.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I mean, so I guess then help me out with, I can take that as a, it feels a little bit like a argument of like the, God of the margins here, but I'll take it as a fair enough point.
It's not a God of the gaps. We're not throwing God. We're saying that there has to be a necessary thing, just deductively, right? We reduce the amount of possibilities, and what are we left? We're left with something that's necessary. And whatever this necessary thing is, we just call God. We haven't given it properties yet. And my argument is I have different arguments on why I think that necessary thing, whatever it may be, that necessary being, would require to have a mind, would require to have the omni properties that we call God. But those are different arguments. Right now, we're just getting to necessity.
Okay, so what would your argument be? If I grant you the necessity, what would your argument be that is a theistic, intelligent creator?
Yeah, so whatever this thing is has to be like the totality for like the principle proportionate, whatever it is. I always forget the last thing. You can't have something greater come out of something. So like you can't create something from nothing. Like that is an aspect of the reality that we world. So if we would have to have something that has the totality of power, because you can't get more power from something that has less. That just doesn't happen. So this would have to be the totality of power. This would give us our not omniscience. Omniscience is all knowing. What's the all power omni again?
Omnipotent.
Omnipotent. Yeah. So this would give us our omnipotent. And I also think this is what we would derive a mind from, because we have minds, right? You can't derive a mind from a non-mind. There are other reasons that I think we'd have to have a mind. This would be the transcendental argument for God. So for example, we have logical truth concepts that cannot exist without a mind. These concepts are true whether or not we are here to observe it. So therefore it requires eternal mind. So eternal concepts require eternal minds. These would be reasons.
Can you give me an example of something that?
Yeah. So it's true no matter whether we observe it that you cannot have a square round circle.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. I mean, I'm still. I think you would agree with the idea, maybe not, that, 500 years ago, and this is not a totally fair argument, but follow me here, that, people would define God as, responsible for all of the things we can't, I get it, this argument, God of the gaps. And I'm not quantum physicist. I can't necessarily, say why you may or may not be more or less correct. Because how is it, but it seems to me like you're like defining God as existing in this relatively specific, necessary place is, just the latest point of like, well, science can't explain that yet.
No, it's a logical argument. It has nothing to do with science.
Okay.
It uses science, right?
Sure.
For example, the principle of proportionality. I never remember what it's called, but the idea is that you can't have something greater come from something lesser. So whatever this necessary thing is has to have all potential power.
I just don't know if that's in line with with quantum mechanics.
But the thing is, this isn't my argument. This is something I use when people bring up these like, oh, well, here's the explanation for this. I just derive this as a problem. Like, hey, okay, you have a problem with these things. Now, I wouldn't use this. I never use this argument to convince somebody of God. That's not my position. A lot of people do. But my argument is strictly focused on the resurrection of Jesus.
Okay. I mean, I'm all ears if you want to go for it.
No. The topic is to convince me to leave Christianity.
Well, fair enough. Well, then it was a good conversation.
All right, man. God bless.
You will.
Shapes exist, so therefore God. That's not even remotely close to what I said. We got a full queue. My goodness gracious. We got a full queue in both places. Wow. We won't get to all you guys today. I apologize because we're running out of time here. Larry J. Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
I'm good, sir. How are you? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. How old are you?
Okay, good. I'm 41.
All right, man. Why should I leave Christianity?
All right. So just really quick, the reason why I feel you should leave Christianity, and I myself am a Christian, and I go by holiness, but
May Jesus smite you.
Ain't no way.
April. Hello. How are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
Oh, what's up? I'm 20. How are you?
I'm good. Can you convince me to leave Christianity?
I can convince you that you can't 100% believe it.
Well, yeah, I don't 100% believe anything.
Oh, fuck. So you're just doing it for the aesthetic.
That doesn't.
If you don't
logically
100%
follow.
believe in it, then why do you even do it?
Because I think the proportionately that I'm justified in believing it's true.
What does that even mean? Proportionately? Proportionally, you believe it's true?
Yeah, so if like I have a 99% confidence in something, that leaves room for error and possibility of me being wrong. So like, for example, in like a Bayes analysis, you have a 0, which means it cannot happen, and a 1 means it has to happen. You very rarely ever say something is 0, and very rarely ever say something is 1, because it requires such a huge burden of proof. But you can say the possibility of it is like a 0.9 or a 0.8, so it's extremely likely.
Okay. Wait, do you believe in logic?
No, what's that?
Do you believe in logic?
What's logic?
1 plus 1. Do you believe like 1 plus 1 equals 2 or something? Simple. Keep it simple.
I believe 1 plus 1 equals something. I don't know what it is though.
Well, that's what you sound like when you just say I believe in something, but I don't 100% have any proof for it, like with God.
What does 1 plus 1 equal?
2.
Can you prove it?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you have one thing and another thing, conceptually, it's 2 things.
Why is it 2 things?
Do you believe in one thing? Can one thing exist?
What is it one thing?
You can believe things exist because you exist. Unless you deny your own existence, then you're just dumb.
What? What is it one thing?
Obviously, what I agree with you on is that God, obviously God exists, but you can't prove your God exists. So
What's
having
a
this whole
1?
debate is pointless.
What's a 1? I'm trying to figure out what a 1 is.
You know what a 1 is. Now you're just
What
trolling.
is it? Can you prove to me what 1 is?
Yeah, if there's one thing, it's me. I exist. So I know one
You're
exists.
1?
Me, one I.
So 2?
Yeah, one person.
So I need 2 of you to have 2. But I only
think
got
therefore
1 of
exist.
you.
There's one.
But how do we get
do
2
you
then if
exist?
there's only 1 of you?
All right, now you're just trolling.
Duh.
Took you that long to figure it out?
Host is embarrassing? That sounds like a you problem. If you're embarrassed, I feel bad for you. There we go. Sergio, hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
I'm doing great. I'm 47. Do you hear me well?
I can hear you, man. Why should I leave Christianity?
Well, I'm afraid that the same thing that happened with the Catholic Church and the same thing that happened with the people of Israel is actually happening with Christianity, especially in Western modern America. So if you really want to live what God teach through the teachings of Jesus in the Bible, you can't really.
Pickle
Hello.
D, hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
I am 37. How's it going?
I'm good, man. All right. Can you convince me to leave Christianity?
I probably can't convince you, but, my brother believes in basically Christianity was created for humans to understand moral stuff,
Okay, why should I believe that?
I don't know. I was going to ask you, how would I argue that with him?
Are you Christian?
Yeah, I am.
All right, I'm not doing Christian questions today, bro, but I appreciate you.
You can come back on an AMA. Or you could come to the Discord. You could ask in the Discord. Someone will answer.
Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
Oh, I cannot hear.
You're very muffled, my friend.
Okay, what about now?
Same, no different.
Ah, damn. I gotta go.
I appreciate you. Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
Hello, I am 19, and all glory to God. You should never leave Christianity. Amen.
Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
I'm 32. I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. Why should I leave Christianity?
So I'm glad you asked. I want to ask you first, what did you do on Sunday the 5th? Well, as a Christian, don't you normally go out and celebrate the resurrection of Christ?
What's this got to do with anything, man?
Well, I'm going to get to it. If you want to open your Bible and read Exodus 12:15, I'll show you exactly what it has to do with it.
Yeah, so what's your argument on why I should leave Christianity?
My argument on why you should leave Christianity is because Christians do not keep what the Bible says we should. So I ask you to come to Messianic Judaism.
Messianic Jew, pretty much a Christian. I'm not going to argue tertiary things. Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
I'm a minor, but I promise I can debate respectfully.
Then get back in the cave, my friend. If you're a minor, you need to get back to work. Get back in the cave and start hauling out some diamonds.
I'm so confused.
Justin, hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can
you
hear
hear
you.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How old are you?
I am 37
All right, man. Why should I leave Christianity?
years old.
Yeah, why should I leave Christianity? Okay. Theology is fascinating. Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
Hello, I'm 40.
All right, man. Why should I leave Christianity?
I hold on. Let me mute the other one. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, beautiful. 3 reasons. Christianity morals are absurd. Then there's also the old question of, could God create a rock so big he himself could not lift it? Which brings us to, you have to circumvent logic and reason for faith to be a Christian. And that is, in my opinion, problematic at that point, if it doesn't make sense, if you can't make it make sense. Third reason is the several contradictions of the Bible, of which I can give you examples if you like as well. And also, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Okay. Pick an argument. You brought up a bunch of reasons. Which one you want to do?
Okay, let's do start with Christianity's morals are kind of absurd. So
Okay.
go 2 Kings 2:23.
Yeah. I know the verses. Can you give me a standard on why it's absurd?
The standard of absurdity is I don't think that these kids should have been mauled by 2 she-bears for just making fun of an old man. Even being a prophet.
I think they should have.
Okay, why so?
Because they shouldn't have made fun of an old man.
So if a kid makes fun of you, he should be mauled by bears?
No, I think those 2 specific kids should have.
Okay, that's what I would consider absurd.
Why?
Because I don't think that punishment fits that crime. I think that
Based
is...
off what standard?
Say that again?
Based off what standard?
Off the standard of punishment should fit the crime. So
yeah, where are you getting this standard from? How do you measure it? How do you know it's objectively true? Like, how do you know that you can observe this and say, hey, this is a valid reason to not follow God?
because they're kids, and in the Bible it states that at 12 years old you are still innocent. So
No, it never says that. No.
okay, well, do you honestly believe that? Yeah, you do apparently, but I think that's just absurd. I don't think kids
Right. So, but you just saying I feel like it's wrong is not an evidence of anything, because I can just say I feel like it's right. Now we're in a stalemate.
Okay, well, I would go off of what is socially measured.
Social measurements change by generations.
So do you think that stealing a candy bar, you should be executed?
So again, you're trying to drive an argument, right? If I say, yeah, you should, how do you know I'm wrong? For example, in like the Islamic religion, it says that there's a specific verse that says if you're caught stealing, you should have your hands cut off. And then when you read the hadith that's along with it, says it could be as small as stealing an egg. So if we hold to, like, for example, Sharia law, it says that, hey, if you stole an egg, you should have your hands cut off. Now you say, hey, that just seems intuitively wrong, but the Muslims will say, hey, that seems like intuitively true. You're kind of stuck in this stalemate of like, who's to say who is wrong?
Okay, I'll grant that. What about that age-old question, could God create a rock? And I am going to pivot here. I will grant that one to you because I don't have a way to I guess, kind of go further into that. But could God create a rock so big he could not lift it?
No.
So you cannot do anything, basically.
Yeah. So when we say God can do anything, it's within the things of power. So God can do anything within anything that's metaphysically possible within the realms of power. God cannot do things that are logically contradictory. Nothing can do it because it just cannot be done.
Right, because a contradiction means two things cannot be correct at the same time.
Correct.
So he could not do it. So that means he would not be all powerful.
No, he would be all powerful because he can do all things within the realms of power. There is nothing above power. It's not within the realms of power to do something that's logically contradictory.
Define the realms of power for me, please.
Things that could be metaphysically true.
Okay. Do you believe God to be omniscient and omnipresent?
Yes.
Okay, just for the audience, omniscient means you know everything that was, everything that is, and everything that will be.
No, I disagree with that
omnipresent.
statement. I'd say you know all true. You know all true propositions.
You know all true propositions.
Yeah, that's a necessary definition of omniscient. Now there is disagreement about, like, does God know possible propositions? There's debate among that. But for God to be omniscient, he must fulfill one condition. That precondition is to know all true propositions.
What is a true proposition?
Something that actually exists. So, like, my shirt is black. That's a true proposition. My shirt being yellow is not a true proposition. It does not actually exist. So it cannot be known because it doesn't exist in the world. That's one argument. Now, there's middle knowledge that people would argue for, that God can have middle knowledge so he can know all possible outcomes as well. And there's nuance to that. But I wouldn't say you have to hold to that position to say that God is omniscient.
The definition of omniscient is having total knowledge.
Yeah. So can you have knowledge of something that doesn't exist?
Sure.
How?
You can have knowledge of a video game world. It doesn't exist in reality. It's just a video game world.
Well, it still exists.
I'm also not claiming to be a god, but I don't.
That's completely irrelevant. I'm just saying that, again, there's just two. I'm not saying this is the case, because I actually do believe God has middle knowledge. That's my perspective. I'm just saying to fulfill the definition of omniscience, one must know all true propositions. That's to fulfill it, right? Middle knowledge is not a true proposition.
So God does not know everything that was, is, and will be.
I didn't say that. No,
that's what I'm asking.
Let's try again. My personal perspective is that God does have middle knowledge. So he does know all possible existence. He knows things that don't exist. He knows, like, what I would do if I did X, blah, blah, blah. He knows all these things. But I'm just
So
saying.
what is the term?
Let me finish.
Sorry, go
I'm
ahead.
just
I
saying
apologize.
for the definition of omniscience, the only condition you have to fulfill to be omniscient is to know all true propositions. The debate is on whether or not God has middle knowledge.
Okay, well, let's break down what it means. Omni means all or universally.
Yes, you can. All are things that exist. You cannot have an all of things that don't exist.
Okay,
if I have all
so
the apples, that doesn't include the apples that don't exist.
fair enough.
Yeah.
So do you believe that God knows everything that we won't use the word omniscient? We'll just go off of, do you believe he knows everything that has been, everything that is, and everything that will be? Yes or no?
Why are you dodging?
Dodging what? It's not a dodge, because if you don't want to use the term
it is a dodge.
omniscient,
It
which
is a dodge. So for
the
like
actual
several
definition
times I've given the necessary conditions on what God must meet to be omniscient.
Right.
And I said there's debate around middle knowledge. Now you're trying to force me in the situation where I must say it's necessary to have middle knowledge to derive a contradiction. It's not necessary to have middle knowledge to derive a contradiction. I do hold to middle knowledge. I do believe what you are saying. Those are the cases. But if you did derive some sort of issue with that, it would not stop God from being omniscient.
Fair, I grant that.
Okay.
But if he knows everything that will be, why are we being punished for what he knows we will do?
Seriously, that's what you're going to ask me after everything that we just went through? That's the question you're going to bring onto the table? Because he feels like it. Why is it wrong?
I don't think it's, why is it wrong to, well, it kind of contradicts the freedom of choice then.
We don't have, God
really
never
have
promised freedom of choice.
God never promised freedom of choice. So everything is laid out for our entire life.
Nope.
Hold on, let me just type this in real quick. The Bible does teach that God grants humans the freedom of choice between good and evil. The concept often referred to as moral agency. Deuteronomy 30:15-20 explicitly presents two paths, stating, I call heaven and earth as witnesses today against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore, choose life, that both of you and your descendants may live.
Yeah. So giving somebody an option for choice is not allowing somebody to have freedom of choice in all possible scenarios. For example, I cannot choose to pick a path outside of going to heaven or outside of hell. Those are only two options. So I can't choose to pick like a middle ground. There is no option there. So I don't have freedom of choice in that. I can't choose to abrogate myself outside of the Christian paradigm.
Well, your first example is, according to your belief system, you don't have a choice between heaven and hell. That was your first point. You don't have a choice between heaven and hell. You have to pick one or the other. That's what you said.
That means you do have a choice between heaven and hell if you have to pick between one or the other.
Correct.
Yeah.
But that's what you just said a couple minutes ago, like a few seconds ago. You said, I don't, yeah.
No.
Yes.
No.
He
just said that.
He has to choose between the two. He can't choose a third option.
What about purgatory? What about some of these other stupid things in here?
Purgatory is debated. And purgatory is a temporary place that ultimately moves you to heaven.
First of all, religion in general is debated.
Dog. All right. Appreciate your time. That's such a wild, such a wild like shift.
Is that like, let's debate about God, but also it's debated if God is real or not.
All right. What time we got? Got time for last possible one if we can do it quickly. Cluckadoodle Tunes. Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you? Cluckadoodle Tunes.
Say it again.
Cluckadoodle Tunes.
That made me sad.
Reed, hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How old are you?
27. Appreciate your time for having me.
All right, man. Why should I leave Christianity?
I would say because of the revelation of the Quran, because I'm a Muslim, so I would base my argument off that.
Okay, what's the
You
argument?
don't need to question why. When you question why the Quran makes the claims about the divinity of Jesus and why he says he's not God, he's not son of God.
Yeah, what's the
And
argument?
he
I know
addressed
what Muslims believe. I know what the Quran says. I've read it. What's the argument?
So I'd say why. I'll say to question why that is in the Quran. And if you say,
why do I need to
according
question
to a lot, yeah, if you say according to a lot of Christians, they say the devil inspired.
Please stop telling me
Muhammad.
what people believe. Give me an argument.
My argument would be questioning the reason why why the revelation of the Quran makes such claims.
Appreciate you. Trying to get just one more before we call it a day. Clockadoodle Tunes. Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you? Please tell me you're not just coming up to get me to say that over and over again. Do you have your mic connected? Mm-hmm. Okay. Religion is fake. Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
Hello. I'm 19.
Whoa, how'd I get 2 people?
Hang on, everybody.
I didn't think you were connecting. Okay.
Hello?
Left. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. How old are you?
Yeah, my English, first of all, I'm 28.
Okay.
First of all, my English is not that good, but I'm trying to,
okay. Why
to
should
do
I
my
leave?
best.
Yep. Why should I leave Christianity?
I want to say this. There are so many scholars who say that the God of Christianity is a fake God. It's like a pagan God, Yahweh, who was adored from the past.
Okay. All right. So, yep. There are Christians. There are Christian scholars that say the opposite.
So the point is, according to scholars like studies, they say that even the Bible was invented by humans, like written by humans. Like what I mean is like it's not something came from
the
heaven.
Bible was written by humans.
Yeah. So my point is, when they saw the evidence, they like did some studies about the Bible, and they learned that this was like a made up story.
Hold on. Can I pause you real quick? Is your argument other people studied it and they were convinced it's false?
Yeah. So what is your proof that it's true?
Okay. So do you understand why I can reject your argument?
No, explain to me, please.
Okay. My argument that the Bible is true is because other people studied it and they found it to be true.
How come? Give me something that makes the Bible true.
I don't need to. I'm giving you your exact same standard that you gave to me that it's false. I'm using your standard of evidence.
But my standard, yeah, my standard is that
there is also other religions who are written by humans. What does make for you to be true, Christianity to be true, not other religions?
Okay.
You see what I mean?
There are religions that were not ever written about at all, so therefore Christianity is true.
Again, please, I didn't hear.
What I'm doing is I'm just using your standard, applying it back on you, and seeing if it convinces you. If it doesn't convince you, then your standard that you're applying on me shouldn't convince me, correct?
No, can you repeat, please, just what you said before? I didn't hear.
Okay, so your argument is there are other religions written, so therefore Christianity is false. So I just throw it back and say, well, there are religions that were never written about, so therefore Christianity is true.
I didn't get your point, but my point is that all religions, if you don't have a divine proof like a miracle, you cannot say it's true because you have just a written text. You cannot say by yourself that it's true. You see what I mean?
No, you got to give me an argument for that.
For an example, the Mormons, they have a book. They say it came from God.
Yeah, I have
what
evidence.
What proof do you have different than them?
Yeah, I have evidence to not
Which
believe.
One?
Yes, I have evidence to not believe in the Mormons by looking at their testimony and the textual criticism, and we could derive that he's most likely inventing things, considering that, for example, he gets Egyptian language wrong when he claims that he got a revelation in Egyptian.
Yeah, but the Bible also is wrong. There are false claims in the Bible. For example, in the book of Job, the way they're describing the world is like a vision of someone living.
Yeah, so Job is not a literal story. Job is never.
Job is not a literal story.
Yeah, Job is not ever, not even considered amongst Christian scholars, a literal story. It's parabolic. It's written in poetry.
Okay, let me ask you this. For an example, they said the book of Exodus. It was written by Moses, but how come Moses can write his own death? You see, it doesn't make sense.
What? What was your question?
In the book of Exodus, it's believed that it was written by Joseph.
No, by Moses.
Sorry, by Moses.
Yeah.
Yes, but how come Moses have written his own death? You see, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, he wrote about his own death because Joshua finished his book for him. Did you ever watch, like, for example, Lord of the Rings? Right? Bilbo Baggins writes the majority of the story for The Hobbit, and then at the end, Frodo Baggins comes in and fills the end because Bilbo leaves.
But what you say again? Joshua was not there in the moment of his death. How could he possibly know the way the death of Moses was? You see what I mean?
I don't know how he got that information.
Yeah, it's kind of doesn't make any sense.
So your argument is that we don't know. Hold on, is this your? Just to be clear. We don't know how Joseph got information, so therefore all of Christianity is false. That's your argument? Yeah,
that is a point. It's not the full argument. It's a point.
I'm not convinced.
I'm pointing like the Bible, the way it's written. Like if you see the text, you see like it's a man-made history.
I already agree. It's man-made.
Yeah, so why do you believe in something someone have written like past centuries ago? You see, it's true.
Wait, do you believe? Do you believe in anything that happened in history?
Yeah, I believe so.
Why do you believe in something that somebody wrote hundreds of years ago?
Because we have historical proofs. They are like studies. That's what I say from the beginning. They are studies.
So for example.
Yeah.
For example, do you believe like Hannibal crossed the Alps?
Hannibal did what?
Hannibal crossed the Alps on elephants. Do you believe that happened?
Yeah. If it's science.
Yeah. So what's your historical proofs of that?
My proof is that they are like studies. I mean, the scientists use science. Like I don't know, like biology, all this stuff.
Can you show me? Can you show me one of these studies, scientific studies of history you looked at that convinced you of it?
You can just Google it. It's like they are like chemistry, for an example.
Hold on. Does the title say, "Hey, John, convince yourself to leave Christianity"? Does it say that?
So okay.
Can you answer the question? Oh, we lost them. I hate it when I drop things. Okay. Oh, are you back? Are you back? I gotta go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So answer the question.
I'm back.
All right. So answer the question. Does my title say, "Hey,
Mm-hmm.
John, convince yourself to leave Christianity"?
No. It's not that.
But does it?
But I'm trying. I'm trying to
answer the question. Does it say that?
No.
Okay. So then, why would I Google your argument?
No, because it will help you to understand that Christianity is false. That is my point.
So again, then you want me to go convince myself to leave Christianity. You want me to do your work for you.
No, I'm giving you a path to try to convince
you want me to do your work for
Christianity.
you.
No, it's not. It's because we don't have a shared screen. I cannot just say like this.
You just need to give me the study.
I cannot show you. That's why.
Just give me the study.
No, I don't have all studies in mind, but I have a general argument.
So then you want me to do your work for you.
It's not that I have an exact. Not exactly, bro.
That's exactly what you want to do.
Not exactly.
Your whole argument is, hey, these things exist, and if you don't believe me, go do the research, and you'll believe me. So I'm just going to give you the same argument.
Okay.
Listen. Hey. Christianity is true, man. All you got to do is, if you do the research, you'll see that it's true.
Okay. Correct. If that is your point, then which proof, like scientific proof, you have?
I don't have any scientific proof.
Then to tell me this scientific study said Christianity is true.
Yeah, I don't have any scientific proof. Well, actually, that's a lie. There is some scientific evidences of miracles that happen modern day.
So why do you believe in? I mean, like, you live in, by which way you believe in Christianity if you don't have any?
Yes, I have historical proofs.
That's great. Have you ever experienced miracle or something like that, or have you?
What does that have to do with anything?
Really? Give me one.
I said, what does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, what I'm saying is basically this. If you are two ways to believe in Christianity, else you have a miracle, you have experienced a miracle, or you have a scientific proof.
I think that's a false dichotomy because you have historical
I'm
proof.
also believing it's God who created science.
They're not listening. That's a false dichotomy because you also have historical proof.
How?
Through same way we conclude anything in history, man. Using the historical method.
For an example, history of Jesus, for an example. You say he was resurrected, like they are proof, it's written. But how come the Jews never seen him like resurrected, all the stuff is appeared?
What are you talking about, man? All the earliest Christians were Jews. What are you talking about?
What I'm talking about is that there's many historical persons who were crucified, and it's just like Christianity was like created by the Romans.
All right, I'm gonna move on. This is crazy. Plus the language barrier and like a delay. So, and plus I got to call it quits anyways. Yeah, there's no evidence that Romans invented Christianity. Are you crazy? Are you crack or something like that? All right, folks, thank you so much for hanging out today. What a great live. On all honesty, I'm putting this up there on the top 10 out of 10 lives for guests. We didn't have really too many bad guests. We got a few of them at the start and then a few of them throughout the middle, but for the most part, all the guests were exploratory and great. and we had great conversations. So I hope you guys got some fruit out of it, and I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. You had some entertainment. If you want to support this channel, you know what to do. You can support me on Patreon. You can support me through memberships. You can support me through super chats. Keep this channel going. I want to thank everybody for allowing us to reach our dono goal for this day. We also have a Discord community that you can join. We have a GoFundMe that's used to grow this channel. The GoFundMe. Like, here's the thing. If you give money to us via the channel, we'll be using it for bills in our life and things like that. If you give us money to us through the GoFundMe, it will only go to the channel. It was originally designed to bring us an editor, but it looks like we might not be bringing one on actually. So we're really having trouble finding an editor. So yeah, it's also going to help grow our pockets and help me buy a private jet and a whole bunch of like everything that I ever wanted in a mansion. And that's the goal. That's the goal. So make sure you send me money so I can buy the things that I want to buy in the name of Jesus.
Clipped.
Huh?
Clipped.
With that being said, folks, we're going to hang out about 5 more minutes. How much time do you need for clips, Abby?
5 minutes.
So what time do you need me to end?
Like 5 minutes.
In 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll do 5 minutes over on YouTube. Let's do a quick prayer and we'll get out of here. Our Father is in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread and forgive us our debts as we also forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation. Lord, you are good in all that you do. Walk with us, be present with us as we try to deliver your message to these people. Lord, if we're doing it wrong, correct us. If they're doing it wrong, correct them. And I ask that you bless everybody that we had a conversation with today and draw them into the knowledge of who you are. And the Christians that are listening, Lord, don't let them be armchair Christians. Give them opportunity to share the gospel as well. And forgive us of our sins. Never turn your face with us. Continue to give us grace, for you are good and we are not. In Jesus' name, amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. All right, guys. Again, if you have any more questions or anything you want to ask, come on over to YouTube. If not, we will see you all on Friday on TikTok. And if you're on YouTube and subscribe there, we'll see you all tomorrow. God bless. What a great day. 10 out of 10 day. 10 out of 10 day. I have 0 complaints. Somebody's definitely trying to hack in my computer because somebody keeps joining, and this time they joined as Little John, and they send me a file.
That's sus.
And they want me to download it. So they're definitely trying to hack my
Block them.
computer. I did, but then it only blocks for 4 hours on that program. So just don't download the file, and we're pretty good. We're pretty good. We're pretty good. Most of Google is false information. Well, Google is a search engine. The problem is people use Google as a way to answer questions, and I do that all the time myself. How do you apply to be the editor? BigJohnSteele@gmail.com. We pay very little, and we expect a lot. That's one of the reasons why we're having trouble finding an editor, because we just can't afford to pay high-level salary for an editor, because editors, to do the amount of work we want, they want $2,500 American a month, and it's like, we can't do that. So we try to hire out of the Philippines, but we've had a lot of trouble hiring out of the Philippines. There's really shady people we've had to deal with. Not saying Filipino people are shady, just saying we've had issues. Google is not to reference LOL. You didn't cite anything.
They're talking to each other. Baby.
Oh, they're citing anything. Okay. Bless my wife. No, she is but my property.
Thank you.
Allergies. My property. And please stop talking to my property without my permission.
Seasonal allergies.
Thanks.
I got him that t-shirt.
She did give me that t-shirt. Go worship Rubik's Cube.
He's got one.
Why would I worship a Rubik's Cube? I'm going to DM you. You're going to DM my property. Then I will just conquer your land and make you also a slave. As per the Bible, I'm allowed to do that. I don't know if we're supposed to have an editor. I think it might be one of those things where God is blessing us to not achieve something that we actually desire, because I've been posting videos without editing and it's doing just as well as it did when we had an editor. So finally, your kink. You won't think it's your kink when I'm done with you. I'm going to beat you to an inch of your life, and as long as you don't lose an eye or a tooth, I'm okay. I'm okay. You are evil, according to what standard? That's the thing. I am not interested in the conversations anymore about whether God is evil or not. I think it's silly. Like all the explanations for Samuel 15:3 has an explanation. Levitical law has an explanation. The grape law has an explanation. And when people are genuinely trying to explore that, I'll walk it through them with it. But if people are trying to use that as a means to like disprove Christianity, it's it's a non sequitur. It doesn't go anywhere. Because even if their interpretation was true, it wouldn't disprove Christianity by any means. Abby, can you ban that person in the shorts chat that's trying to dox? And you should be able to figure it out by what they're saying.
I don't think there's a shorts chat.
It's in the shorts chat.
I can't see it.
They're asking if we're going to do a specific thing that doxes us.
I don't see it.
See it on my screen? I don't want to say anything because I don't want to get doxxed.
I got it.
You got it. Do I think people who don't believe in Jesus do not go to heaven? I think people who reject Jesus don't go to heaven. Ignorance is not something God judges you for. As a matter of fact, you may even be blessed for not knowing. How does this dork still have a channel? Well, I press go live and I start just talking, and then people just sit and listen and then start throwing their money at me. It's almost like I'm a stripper. I love you all. Goodbye.